Good morning, everybody. We have about 14 minutes before we get started. I don't have music this morning. So what I love is to hear as people are coming on, maybe some callbacks that you received yesterday, any great ahas from yesterday, and any big wins that you had, maybe an appointment set, a really good conversation. So let's get that started before we dive into Ignite this morning. Anyone want to start? And put your cameras on if you are ready. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, how are you?
Great this morning, how are you?
Good.
How long have you been in real estate and how was your first day of Ignite?
It was great. I had my license previously in Pennsylvania for 10 years and then worked in the corporate world here in Boston for the last 10. So I reactivated my license and I've decided to just get into it full time, no distractions. So yesterday was great because I need the focus, the discipline, someplace to start every day.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was your big takeaway from yesterday?
I really loved the line and the script when I'm calling people, letting them know that I'm looking to help 16 families this year to find a home or to move or to sell their home. And just coming from that place and letting people know that that's what I want to do, that's what I'm focused on, feels really good to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell from the other side, it's the other people want to help me do that.
That's right, yeah, they do. And when I said 16, that was just the number in my area that gets our agents to pass capping. So,
Right.
So you got to pick your own goal and that goal that fits for you. But if it's 16, that's fabulous. But I probably should have said your goal instead of 16. But 16 is not bad, right? Right, Heidi?
Absolutely.
I think I can do 2 a month, so 24 once I get rolling.
Awesome. I love that. I love it. So, Heidi, because I don't have music this morning, I would love for us just to kind of chat and do some ahas and big takeaways from yesterday, if that's okay.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea. Good morning, everyone.
I know we have
names.
11 more minutes before we get started, but we got plenty we could talk about.
So how did people feel about their first day? Have they said anything?
Linda said she had a great first day. She had some stuff that resonated with her. And I haven't heard from anyone else yet. We'd love to hear from you if you are able to unmute yourself and add a few things from yesterday.
I know that we had some really good chat going on in the Facebook page, Jen. There was an agent, let me see if I can pull it up here. Lisa, I believe her name is, who ended up getting, Lisa Salerno. She used what she learned in Monday's session and applied it to her art business and ended up getting some art. She's going to create some art for a neighbor who just redid their home.
Works in every business, right?
It does. Absolutely.
Mysticism. And as people are coming on, there's only 12 of us, and I'm going to say this a couple of times today. Here's the big thing with Ignite. And if you take this one thing away, guys, the 13 of us that are on here, your business is going to ignite and really, really flourish. That daily 10-4, if you make that your one thing, your habit that we talked about yesterday, the daily 10-4, that's it. That is it. If you just do that every single day, you are guaranteed to grow your business.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember what the 10-4 is?
Adding contacts, 10 people, reaching out to 10 people.
10 notes.
It's adding 10 contacts to your database, connecting with 10 people a day, and what else?
Note cards.
And note cards a day.
What's the last one?
Call. Someone say call.
It's
I found the printout. I think it was listed in all the things.
Sorry, Allison, having a hard time hearing you, but I'm not sure if you're saying it wasn't listed in
It's
here.
a plan your day, the daily 10-4.
Yeah, that's in the toolkit. Yep.
It was a printout that says plan your day, the daily 10-4. Yeah, I found, and it works great. I started it this morning.
Awesome. I think you said you just saw it this morning. If you want to chat with us, put it in the chat because we can't, you sound like a robot this morning. Just could be my internet in
Frozen.
general. So let us know what you're saying in that chat section, Allison. We'd love to-
Oh, no.
I heard that one.
I think I'll print up this 10-4 so I have one for every day.
It's such a great idea, Linda. I'm telling you, that is your key to this class. You really make that your habit every single day. Like that's your one thing. Like you can't clock out today until you get that thing done. You're good. Yes,
Quick question.
Sarah.
How does the referrals work? So I'm going to be moving around a lot as a military spouse. So a lot of the people that I know are in different states. So what would keep them coming to me even though I wouldn't be able to physically do it for them?
That's a great question. What I would suggest is that you want to be top of mind so that way you could be their real estate professional resource. You don't have to be their professional in each state, yet you could be their resource so that way you could connect them with the best person in every state they go to so they don't have to hunt them out themselves.
Gotcha. So once I refer them, I wouldn't actually have anything to do with that process, right? It's kind of, I find the best person, I just let them go.
Yep. It's a nice little passive income that you could really create for yourself by being that professional real estate resource for your families that you're helping.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, guys, so we still have about 8 more minutes before we get started, but I figured we would start off today when you're coming on with some ahas from yesterday, any big wins from yesterday, and your big takeaway. What is your big takeaway? So, unmute yourself and chime in.
This is Karen Wanshoff. I was on a different call. I needed my core. So it's recorded, correct? I can go back and watch yesterday's?
So we did have a little technical challenge yesterday. We do have 2 pieces from yesterday's class, and we're working on putting them together and distributing it. Yet today, the full class will be recorded. So Karen, yes, keep an eye out on our Facebook page for that posting from yesterday. And it'll also be on our YouTube channel as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course.
Hi, so this is Stacy Villani. I'm KW in Cambridge and just started, and my takeaway was the 10-4, and then I downloaded that sheet you had out there in the toolkit, and just kind of gives you a kind of a starting point or just something to focus on, you know. So I thought that was great.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And right before you came on, that was the thing that I said. If you focused on that one tool, the daily 10-4, that this class makes a huge difference in your world and in your business. So good point. I love it. Anyone else? 5 more.
From Jason Elliott, from formerly from Rhode Island. I just moved to Charlotte, and what I took out of yesterday's class was the positive mindset. Being that I'm new to the area, I don't have any contacts. I reached out to every real estate company around here because I just got my broker's license, and I have a ton of interviews today, which really got me going. It got me really into the groove of things. So I got a ton of interviews today, but you guys gave me the actual confidence to do that just in one class.
Jason, that honestly just gave me the chills, and we're sad that you left Rhode Island, yet happy for your new venture. So if we could help in any other way, please let us know.
I am looking to get into Keller Williams because I came from Rhode Island real estate, but they don't have one here. So I'm looking to get involved with Keller Williams here. And there's so many different, I'm in Ballantyne, which is a part of Charlotte. And there's so many. So that's why I have a lot of interviews today, was really to see which one can offer me the most and what I can offer them.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that. And there are plenty of Keller Williams resources that way. And if you need help with any, please reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you with anybody as well.
Thank you very much.
Of course. All right, anyone else for big ahas, big wins, or any just comments from yesterday's class? And welcome back.
Hey, it's Louise. I've been using the Helping 16 Families, and I'm getting some great responses. So I really like that. I know it was just a little added note that you said you saw posted somewhere, but it's really, people are hopping on board with me. So I love that. Thank you.
Awesome. That makes me so happy, Louise. Thank you for using that. It is such a simple little script. And here's the thing. I didn't make that script up, but it sounded like it was my own, but it wasn't. I heard it from somewhere, I don't know. I've been in the business for 20 years now. I don't know how that happened. And it came along the way, and it has helped me with my mindset of how I'm asking for business, because I'm really just asking for help for other people. It's about
Ovi, you got your license when you were 9?
Oh, that was nice, Tim.
Thank you so much, Tim. Yes, I was actually 22 when I got my license. All right, we have a few more minutes. Coaches, do you have anything you want to add before we take day 2 away?
Just going to mention real quick, we are doing a most consistent attendance, not perfect. We're always improving, never perfect. Most consistent attendance. We do have the opportunity from behind the curtain to see who is logged in every day. If you've ever been in the physical bold room, they will do attendance checks throughout the day. So what Matt and Nathan and Jen thought was a great idea, that Aaron and I were just trying to come up with some carrot for the end of the stick to keep people engaged. There will be an opportunity when this is all said and done for market centers to obviously track their individual attendance. And if you want to do something locally to award consistent attendance at your local market center level, that's great. And then retaining those numbers, we'll put people with the best attendance into a hat, and we're going to draw a name, and somebody's going to win. And again, loose and flowing, because the world is what the world is right now. We are going to pay for your registration for either Las Vegas in February, which still might happen, who knows, Mega Camp next August, pack your wool tweed, or maybe even just something like that that would be commensurate as far as price is concerned. It's about $700 for a registration for our major national events. So a spring mastermind or something, we can talk about that at a later time. One winner from the region for the most consistent attendance. So please do your best to be here every day. We do appreciate that we are recording this content for you guys. Our concern as coaches is that the idea that you're going to get to it on January 35th tends to never happen. So if you can be in here and park your face in here with the energy that's in the room every morning, we know the benefit of doing this, and doing this over the course of a month on purpose, as Gary designed, is to build the discipline of creating the habit of, I'm going to do lead generation between 9 and 12 every day. So then my face is at appointments in the afternoon. So we appreciate you being back here today. Again, to Bovi's point, comments and concerns, please let us know where we can improve. This is day 2 of the first time we've ever done this. And for a lot of people, this is brand new content because it's 2.0. And they didn't just slap a 2.0 on it. Gary rewrote this. So everything is by design, and it's very purposeful. So thanks for being back. We appreciate your presence, your attendance, your energy, and your will to learn.
All right, so Tim, that was amazing. And I actually went back and watched yesterday's recording at 11 o'clock last night after my daughter went to bed. And I realized something, that we did not do a great job introducing ourselves or telling you who we are. So I would love for our coaches just to maybe tell us a little bit about you and why you're a coach. And so why don't we start off with Heidi, and then we'll go to Paula, Tim, and Aaron, and any other coach who's here, please chime in after that. So Heidi, go ahead, take it away.
Okay, so I started in real estate back in 2012, and I have to say I was very lucky to be under the tutelage of a Mrs. Jennifer Bovey Kelly at the time. And learning from Jen made me realize how much I enjoyed helping other people. And I stayed in real estate for a while. Then I asked if I could become a mentor, and I started working my way up, still staying in real estate. And then about 2 years ago, I went full-time as a coach. And I realized that coaching and training people and helping people is what really, really speaks to me. That's my heart. That's where I get I get more back from you than I feel that I put out. So it's a passion. That's all I can say is it's a passion for me. I really, really enjoy it.
I'm Paula Welch. I'm from Plymouth and Cape Cod area. I live in Carver. I've had my real estate license for about 19 years, and I've done the whole gamut. I've been through 5 different companies. I opened my own company with my broker's license for about a year, and finally landed at Keller Williams about 4 years ago, and it is definitely my forever home. And there's nothing like it anywhere. So you're all in the right place if you're here learning from Keller Williams. It is the best culture and the best learning environment around. So I have 3 kids. I love coaching. I love helping agents. If anyone needs any help and you just have some questions, obviously feel free to reach out to probably any one of us, I'm sure, at any time, because this is what we love doing.
Thank you, Paula. Tim, I think you're up next.
Thanks, Jen. Tim Lindsay, I got my license in 2010, and I've only ever been here. We've got some veteran agents that say if you've never been to another brokerage, you should have to go there to figure out how awesome we have it here. I constantly refer to us as the spoiled rich kids of real estate. So I'm grateful that I've only ever been here, and I came directly here because I trusted Nathan Dickey. There's a lot on that bone to chew on. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, and then I spent 4 years in production, and he always wanted me to move into this role. And when I first got here, it was really starting the coaching role at the Market Center level. So I've been a coach with the Market Center. October will be, I'll start my 7th year in October. And last September, I was lucky enough to hoodwink Erin McLaughlin into joining me. And she's still here, so we're doing something right. Thanks.
Awesome. So Erin, you are up next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Erin McLaughlin. I'm so happy that you're here and we're having this class together. I live in New Hampshire and my office is in Meredith. I'm Tim Lindsay's partner, teammate, and we, I guess I have been in production. I was in production 2017, I got my license. So I'm like the baby of the coaches, I guess, in terms of my experience. I was a teacher before and a coach for teachers before I was in real estate. So you can totally change your life at any time. I started this career at 40 years old, and here I am now as a coach at Keller Williams, about to have my 1-year anniversary in this role. And yeah, so that's me. I don't know if there's anything else. I'm kind of trying to make everything on the Facebook page as easy for you to find as possible. If it's super confusing, just let me know and I'll try to fix it. So.
A good point. Erin is behind all of the posting of the units with the Spark sessions in our Facebook group. So she's the one that is giving you guys all these resources. So make sure you go on there and thank Erin, because that was a lot of work to get that going and stuff. So thank you, Erin, for all you did to get all of those resources for us on that page. And then any other coach here this morning? I know we had Lorna yesterday. Lorna, are you here again? I can't see.
I am here. I am here. Thanks. Lorna Helms from Keller Williams, Boston Northwest in Concord and Lexington, Massachusetts. I've been in this role for 4.5 years. I have had my license since 1993 and been in production. I was on a team with my mother for 14 of those years and love the coaching aspect. It was just a natural fit for me. My degree is in early childhood education, so I love teaching and training and coaching. And I think this is an amazing group. I'm really excited to be a part of it, but happy to help with anything you need. Please always feel free to reach out.
Awesome, thank you. And as I said yesterday, I'm Jen Bovey. I started as a team leader in 2012, and I have really taken advantage of the Keller Williams Opportunity Map. If you're not familiar with that, please go talk to your leadership if you are interested in growth. I started as a team leader. I was an agent with a team before that, and I am now an operating principal of multiple market centers, and I am lucky enough to be your area director for the New England region. Which makes me so happy, gives me so much joy to be able to help as many people as I can in this role. So I'm really excited to be here, and I couldn't be even more thrilled with the coaches that you guys have to coach you during this session. So I'm going to let Heidi and Paula take it away again today for session 2. This is being recorded, and we hopefully will have that on our Facebook page. It's taking a long time to load, but hold in there. We will get it done. And again, any feedback you guys have, please send it my way, jbovey@kw.com. That's all I got for this morning. Heidi, take it away.
All righty. Okay, so everybody, Paula is going to start us off, and then I will finish the tail end of this today. Let me just share my screen, and we can get going. All right, Paula.
All right. Well, good morning, guys. So we're just going to go over again. The goal of Spark is to get your first appointment within 2 weeks and to sign your first contract in 30 days. So obviously, we're going to talk more and more and more about that 10-4 because that is your means to get there. So please make sure that you stick with it every day. It's for your own good. You're going to work every day building your database, practicing scripts, contacting prospective clients, and getting to know your market. And that's what the purpose of those 10-4 is. So we wanted to start today by asking you guys who overcame some limiting beliefs yesterday. You can write it in the chat box, or if you want to just pop on and say it, we'll, have like 2 or 3 people that hopefully overcame some limiting beliefs yesterday.
I know for me, it was,
I didn't get a question.
So Sarah, thank you. Yes, and what limiting beliefs you overcame yesterday?
it was the awkwardness of starting a conversation that I haven't done, speaking to someone I haven't spoken to in a while.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a good one, right? And it just takes that first step. And are you much more comfortable with it now? Did it go well?
It did. They were very welcoming. I was even thanked for letting them know that I'm in the real estate business now. So it really helped.
That's awesome. Yeah, sometimes we just need to take that first leap and we find out it's not as bad as we thought it was. Yeah. Did anyone else overcome anything that they're excited to share?
I definitely did.
Oh, go ahead. Nicole?
Yeah, hi. I did, just because there were so many other people saying the same thing. And it's kind of like we all have our little roadblock, but it's good to know that everyone's facing something, but eventually you can get through it. And after yesterday's exercise of the breakout rooms and just kind of contacting people, I thought the contacts was really good, just knowing that there's a lot of people in your phone that maybe you haven't talked to, but I texted a lot of 5 or 10 different people that I haven't talked to, and they were like, oh, you're gonna be great at it. I wish you so much success. I don't know anyone right now, but I'm definitely gonna refer you and keep you top of mind. And 2 people are looking for apartments. So it was kind of just taking the leap and doing it. But I think knowing that everyone else was in that position was helpful in building up the confidence to do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have 210 people on this call right now. And my guess is 3/4 of them were not comfortable making calls for the first time they did. I'd say everybody is not comfortable making your first calls. But even today, even in this group, I would say 3/4 probably had some anxiety over picking up the phone and calling people that they haven't spoken to in a while. So I'm glad that we got to share with people that it went well, and people seem to be happy that they did it. So good job, guys. Continue working on that every day, because overcoming your limiting beliefs is one of the most important things you can do. Is there anyone that's still struggling with a limiting belief that they maybe want us to hopefully get through over the course of Ignite, that they'd like to get conquer?
I have a situation.
Oh, Joyce?
Go ahead.
Hi, it's Joyce. I have a limited belief. My fear is just calling the people and they hanging up on me. I did call yesterday, but then when they answer, I chicken out and I hung up.
Oh, so you hung up on them. Okay, that's different. And do you have a script partner?
Yeah, well, I do with my team leader, Chris Brown from Metro Boston. Yeah, practice every day, but I've been an agent for like 6 months. I started in the last of February, and I just can't get over that fear of calling people and they'll reject me.
And so one thing that's important to remember is they're not necessarily rejecting you, right? And maybe asking them if there's a better time to contact them if they sound like they don't want to talk immediately when you get on the phone, because it's typically not a personal thing. And that's one of the things we have to realize. You know, a lot of times we catch them at the wrong time. A lot of times we just don't start out the conversation in a way that they'll notice that you just want to chat with them. You're not calling as a sales call. So keep practicing with Chris and maybe talk to him about that, because it would be great if he could maybe sit in a room with you or be on a call with you while you did that, just to get over that hurdle. Once you do it, you'll be much better.
All right, thank you.
Good.
Oh, I got something.
Bola, I have maybe a limited belief. So in the sphere of contacts I have another friends that already got their license, but with another brokers. So I always feel like if I called my friends that they know me and they know the other agent, it's like trying to steal each other's clients, or I don't know. Like yesterday, I have a huge group that I know that one of them started to be a real estate agent with another broker, and I was like, I couldn't contact them, so they don't feel like I'm trying to steal from the other agent or competing with her. This is what I felt.
Yeah. And so my opinion on this, and other coaches can jump in if they want, but my opinion on this is that everybody has a different connection. And so some of those people may connect better with your friend, and some may connect better with you. And people are going to choose the person they connect better with to work with, typically. So if it's also a good friend of yours, maybe have that conversation, right? Coaches, do you have anything else to share on that one?
Yeah, that's a great point, Paula. If you think about it, and is it Rania? Am I saying your name properly?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Rania, if you're sitting next to a good friend of yours, even if they're same industry, different brokerage, and let's say you both have all the same people in your phone, the likelihood of that is slim and none. Doesn't matter for the purposes of this conversation. It's not who's going to call one person once. It's who's going to call the most. And I don't mean in an antagonizing way. It's when I become transactional as a person, who am I going to feel connected with me most often, made me feel heard and cared for? Because we could argue right now. I mean, I would argue there's a lot of people on this call that probably have some sort of way of getting a hold of Nathan Dickey. It's not about if we all called him once today. We always see this limiting belief always shows up when we have like big call days. We do May Day, payday at our market center. A lot of market centers will do January 1st, and a new agent will walk into the room and see all these mega agents or capping agents and be like, well, I'm not going to pick up the phone because they're going to call everybody on planet Earth. I appreciate that feeling. We've all felt that way. What we know, what we found is that if you stay in connection with people, to Paula's point, you might have a similar relationship with the same individual that somebody else does. If you're connecting with them differently, if you're creating more of a comfort level with them, and they just want and choose you because you've chosen them, right? People are going to choose who they do real estate with. People are going to choose their hairdresser, their butcher, their baker, their candlestick maker. And if you're connecting and making me feel heard and cared for, I'm invariably going to turn to you when the time comes. If we all decided to not call anybody because there's enough real estate agents, we should just go home now. And that's not the case. There's massive opportunity, right? There's, again, 6,000 agents in the New England region of Keller Williams. You know, if we all picked up the phone and did our job today, we'd be pretty well covered. We would crush it. There's a lot of people just because she exists doesn't mean she's making the calls, just because she has somebody's name in her phone. So be the bigger person, be the better business person, and connect with those people and make them feel heard and cared for. You're going to win every time.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah. So today we're going to focus on the lead generation model. So understanding the lead generation model, it's going to allow us to move into all the other grow and run your business activities that you see on page 3, I believe, right? Without lead generation, you're not going to have anything, right? So you're not going to be able to move into these other areas of make seller listing presentations, get listings, make buyer presentations, get listings, preview real estate. If you're not lead generating, are you going to be able to make seller presentations? Probably not, right? So our number one job as real estate agents is to lead generate. That's very important to keep in mind every day. Let's see. So Heidi, we're going on to the lead generation model picture.
Oops, got to go back to using my mouse now.
So this is the lead generation model. It's obviously a funnel. You can also find this on page 133 of the MREA book. So whenever you want to reference it. It is backed by research that's been conducted for the second edition of the MREA. So today we're going to focus on a solo agent model. There are team models, but this is the solo agent model. So it's made up of 3 phases. So if you look at the top, the first phase is prospecting and marketing. The second is your lead generation activities. I'm sorry, first is lead generation activities, second is database activities, and third is sales pipeline. So if you go down the left side, you can see that. Now the funnel, what that's saying to us is when you do your prospecting and marketing, all those people that you capture become either a lead or a contact. And then out of those leads and contacts, you connect with them, you cultivate them, and then only a smaller portion becomes an appointment and a closing. So this is the part of the model that you're going to focus on generating leads through prospecting and marketing. Does anybody know the difference between prospecting and marketing? You want to type in the chat box if somebody knows the difference between prospecting and marketing? No, okay.
Prospecting equals active lead generation, marketing equals passive. Ooh, I like that.
That's exactly right. So thank you, Jackie. That's exactly right. So when you're actually going out and finding leads, that's your prospecting. And when you are just working on different activities to stay in touch, that is your prospecting. So when you see a billboard or you see a shopping cart with somebody's picture on it, that is marketing. So it can work, it's just going to take longer, right? So prospecting is really where you want to super focus because it is active and it is going to get you your clientele base first.
Paula, can I interject something?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So what I tell the agents that I work with to try and break down prospecting and marketing a little bit clearer is prospecting is active and takes more time. Marketing is passive but costs more money. And
That's
newer
right.
agents starting out tend to have more time than they do cash. So that's why we guide you more towards doing prospecting. Remember the old movies or the old pictures you've seen of the prospectors and the gold rush and how they had their hats on and their pickaxe and they'd go in and they would be putting in time looking for gold, right? They didn't pay somebody to do it. They were putting in the time to do it.
That's right. Yep. So when you're going out and finding your leads, it's definitely going to be more effective and quicker than when you're marketing. And obviously, like Heidi just said, it's going to be less expensive, right? Think of all the activities that you can do while prospecting. Why don't you guys type in some prospecting activities that you can think of off the top of your head, which are active, going out, getting clients, and staying top of mind. Door knocking, for sale by owners, phone calls, cold calling, walking around your neighborhood, talking to people, door knocking.
Pop buys, love pop buys.
Video texts, I love that.
Open houses, family events.
That's awesome. The gym, right? Yep.
Handwritten cards, love it.
What was that one? I missed that one.
Handwritten note cards.
Ah, yes,
Handwritten
perfect.
cards. Oh, that speaks to me.
Yep, exactly. So yes, phone calls, handwritten letters, events, text messages, text videos, promotional materials. Those are ways to communicate with your database. So that is phase 2. And then the third part is your sales pipeline. So this is the final part of this lead generation model. So once a lead or a contact has raised their hand and said, yes, I want to work with you, I want to do business with you, then you put them into your opportunities, for those of you that are very familiar with Command, and you identify a timeline to close, and then they become step 4. So that's when you cultivate. After you close the transaction, what happens to that person? Do they just kind of sit in limbo?
Nope.
No, right? They go back up and they start down the funnel again, because you want to stay in touch with them. You want to stay top of mind. That's our number one goal, is to stay top of mind with every single person that we come in contact with about real estate. And we're going to do that through smart plans, 33 touches or 36 touches, and constant contact with them. So, go ahead.
Sorry, I was laughing. Kay has a question. How do we prospect at the gym? And I'm thinking, oh, I could get on a treadmill and I could just walk the treadmill and talk to people on the opposite side of me and just stay there like all day walking on the treadmill.
It makes it way more interesting, doesn't it? Walking on the treadmill when you talk to the person next to you and working at the same time. It's great. Yeah.
Paula, I would actually argue that if probably the best part of prospecting at the gym is not necessarily, getting in people's faces and tucking your business card into their Lycra. Moreover, it's the fact that you're consistently there at 4:59. They're eventually, then you're in there, then you bring a KW towel with you, maybe a branded water bottle. You do it, if you're a ninja, but you're always there. That's the thing. If you're in a spin class, eventually you're going to start to have conversations like, hey, what do you do? The commonality is fitness. The commonality is I'm a maniac and I'm here at 4:45 every day. And they see that you're consistently showing up and committed to your physical well-being. And then they find out you're a real estate individual. You probably conduct yourself in that same way in that venue. And they've already feel connected because she's at the gym with me. He's at the gym with me. That we both like cycling or whatever the case may be. So it's not about necessarily slapping your business card in their face. It's about being one of the ice cubes in the drink and then turning into the straw,
Yeah, you
Right.
can do it in other places as well. It doesn't have to be a gym. It can be, well, I don't know about local coffee shops, but that's what I used to do when they were open. I would visit a local coffee shop a couple of times a week. I became a regular. They knew when I was coming in. And then I would just have conversations with people who were also regulars.
And that's the thing, is when they all of a sudden have a real estate question, they can say, hey, Heidi's at the gym on Tuesday mornings. I'll ask her next time I go there.
Yeah.
I know I see her every day at the gym. So yes, it's great to be available at all times, right, for our people. Okay, so let's see. So we actually have a video on lead generation. Heidi, do you have it, or do you need me to pull it up?
No, I have it. Okay, I'm just going to move things out of the way. Come on. Oh, let's try this. Stop share. Go back to share.
Lead generation is the first thing you should do.
Make those calls.
I took what I already knew and how I would go and shop for a house and just applied it to them.
It's a numbers game, you know. If you can track how many people you're calling in a day and how many hours you're doing this, there's a formula.
Make those calls.
I used those things that I did innately to attract my clients. I became a hyperlocal expert in the military because I am a military spouse. The two key things that I did to generate the most success for me were social media and open houses because I didn't have the database like everybody else did. So I had to find ways that I could get in front of people fast and also something that would be maybe have the buyer or seller would be ready and willing to buy now versus later. And I'm lead generating specifically in an area that is military friendly, military heavy. It really is in the follow-up. Be present in their lives, build a relationship. Don't just ask for business every single time you see them. Be present in their lives, build the relationship. The least effective marketing activities for me were cold calling. And that's just because my niche market, they're not gonna be already local, they're gonna be moving from other bases. Then I decided, well, if I'm gonna leverage cold calling, let's do it more purposeful and let's do it only in my niche market where I know that there's military there. They're likely to buy or sell in 3 to 4 years. Mindset was a huge part of my success. One of the things I tell myself for an open house is one good lead every time. And so I start that action at least a week beforehand. I do a social media campaign. I follow up with all the likes and comments. And then I do a door knock around the open house. And then I follow up with anybody who is active at the open house. And usually that results in at least one buyer or seller lead, usually more.
So my first year, obviously, you know, the minute I made the change, it's super scary. I've got a network of people still reaching out to me to, you know, help them with what I was doing before, which was post-production. And I knew that my job in the beginning of the year, starting out, was changing people's mind from thinking if they met somebody who needed a commercial made, they thought of me. I knew my job was to change all the people who knew and trusted me when they heard somebody needed to buy a house or sell their house, once they thought of me. You know, if you're starting out and you don't have that network, be really intentional about where you spend your time. Go get gas. You could meet somebody who needs to buy a house. Just think that way, and you'll attract that to yourself. I think everybody likes to talk about real estate. Your job is for people to know that you are in real estate and that they will bring it up. Open houses are by far just the best thing you should do out of the gate every weekend, each day. Starting out, I did door knocking, I did mailing. I didn't get a great return, but I wouldn't change that. If I was starting out again, I would door knock. It's just talking to people, getting rejected. You know, it's great experience no matter what. I'll also say that the most important thing is that your lead generation strategy is coming from a place of authenticity. You're not going to get every client in the city, but there are people out there that are going to resonate with who you are, and just figure out a way to bring value. The income is secondary. That's how I go about it, and I think that really resonates with obviously my set of people that I take care of.
My lead generation strategies in the beginning were a challenge. I actually honestly believed when I first started that lead generation was cold calling and door knocking. So I kind of stayed away from that. I was fearful, I was anxious, but over the course of the business, the things that were innate to me, networking, open houses, facilitating classes, it allowed me the opportunity to connect, and I start to see that as opportunities for lead gen. And it was far more effective for me because it was natural. Let me just go back. When I became a new agent, from the time that I was in Ignite and graduated from Ignite in October, November, December, I closed with 8 transactions in just 3 months. And during that period of time, I noticed a developmental gap. And I say this to say, I was spurred to partner and collaborate with some other agents and create master classes, as well as launch and learns monthly to share mindset, motivational speaking. And through this, I was able to build a community, or I was able to build a group and a network broader than myself that basically helped others in home buying and also with other agents to help build their skill sets. It has put me and set me apart from other agents. Lead gen pitfalls that I've seen agents do are just being cookie cutter. Looking at a successful agent or looking at someone else and doing exactly what they do doesn't necessarily work for everyone. Scripps gave me more confidence to be able to know what to say when I was talking to certain clients. Also, there's different approaches to different questions that may be asked. So instead of looking at Scripps as, oh, I have to memorize this verbatim, it was a resource to gain knowledge and definitely helped me to build confidence, even though I was not planning on using it verbatim. I've always said my purpose is to empower and to elevate others to a level of excellence. And when I meet with my clients, I want to make sure that they have enough information and they feel empowered to make the decision. How can I do that? How can I help you to make you feel that once we've made this connection, you are elevated?
With my time blocking, for the first 2 hours of every day, I would do lead generation. And sometimes it would be 4 hours if I wasn't getting the productivity that week that I wanted. And then I followed up with all of my clients and learned just lots of very successful habits through night. I think that a lot of new agents want to try all different types of lead generation. You're not really honing any talent in one or two different lead generation. There's all kinds of different models, but they are not made for everybody. The best lead generation model for me was my sphere. I called my sphere every day. The number 2 way that I got business and did lead generation was open house. I found for me the best way to connect to be in front of them. People I already knew that I had built a relationship with, or I had met at an open house, and I had time to actually connect with them. The scripts that the Ignite program provided for me really worked because they helped me get out of my comfort zone when I was having to call everybody and let them know that I had transitioned jobs, what I was doing, and it gave me the dialogue. On our team, we have 6 nonprofits locally that we like. And we do an event with all of those nonprofits every year. And we meet lots of new people that way. We invite all of our former clients. We invite our vendors. And then we invite the neighborhood because we're knocking towards the event around the park doing this. And then we also have client appreciation. We try to do that quarterly. We'll do a client appreciation event where we invite everybody out to a restaurant and then we provide appetizers. We just have fun. It's not necessarily a salesy event. It's just about having fun. By being out in the community, they see that we are knowledgeable about what we're doing, but we're also giving back. We care about where we live.
My first year as a realtor, I tried just about everything in terms of prospecting and lead generation. What I found for me was that I present best when I'm face-to-face with somebody. So I really focused on open houses and then networking and getting out for coffees, making myself visible in the community, and then always making sure that I was able to speak to what was happening in the market at any time. So keeping up to date with local news and projects in and around town, I found to be very helpful when talking with people. To set myself apart from the many other agents out there, I've been utilizing video. And I find that putting the videos out on Facebook and a YouTube channel, and then even emailing them through clients really allows people to feel like they get to know you. And I've had experiences where I've talked to people on the phone and they were, especially with out-of-town investor clients, and they were not necessarily ready to go with me until I sent them a video saying hello, outlining how I could help them. It was good to have the phone call with them, etc. And the feedback I've gotten on the videos has been very, very strong. The biggest pitfalls I saw other agents having, and even fell into myself with lead generation, was not having consistent follow-up. So if I had an open house and I got some names and numbers and contacts and told them I'd be in touch with them, sometimes I would get overwhelmed and I wouldn't touch base with them in a timely manner, or to follow up on calls with somebody that has shown some interest. Making sure that you stay on top of things and follow up with your contacts is very important. Scripts are great for understanding what objections you might encounter and how to overcome those objections. What I discovered was I would learn what the foundation of the script was. What was it trying to get me to say? And then I would be able to, just by knowing that and having read it over and over and over, when I would have an objection come up, I was able to utilize those scripts, the content of the scripts in my own words.
Well, that was totally great. So many different ideas in there for different types of lead generation, wasn't there? So one of the things that I want to touch on that he just said, and then I'm going to ask you guys what you got out of it, is script practice. Because I know yesterday there was a little confusion on how to script practice. And what he said is learn the script the way it is, internalize it. And then when it comes out of your mouth, it's going to sound like you. It's going to be your own words. So that's really important to know, is just to really learn the scripts. It's going to give you confidence, and it's going to allow you to more comfortably talk to people, right? So people, what did you get out of that? I got so many ahas out of that video, and I'm just wondering what else everyone else has there. If you want to put it in the chat box.
Can I jump in, Paula?
Yeah, of course.
So I have an agent in here with me, one lonely agent, and myself in the training room in Meredith, New Hampshire. And Kevin and I were talking about, he was asking about door knocking, and he was like, is that really a thing? Like talk to me about how that would work. What is that about? And I'm sure a lot of you are probably thinking about that as well. But you know, I was thinking about, like, I had a process for door knocking, right? So it would be around an open house and then following up, and I had certain neighborhoods that I was farming. Like, I just wanted you to see my face all the time, and I'd send you cards, and then I'd follow up and, you know, whatever. So I think it's just about a system, right? So door knocking randomly and only doing it once is probably not going to be super fruitful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hi, I'm here. And then they're like, wait, okay. And you never show up again. If you're not bringing any kind of value, then, you know, you're not going to start a relationship that way. So if just think about it, again, we're in the relationship business, and how would you start a relationship with a neighborhood, a community, introducing yourself. I always like introducing myself with a card. So I would send a card, and then I would follow up a couple weeks later, or if we had an open house, and I would invite everyone in the neighborhood to my open house. And then after it sold, I would go back around and hand them all out a flyer. I know you want to know what happened with the house. This is what it sold for, and door knock that way. So I'm not necessarily always sort of like knocking for business, but knocking to create opportunity for relationship, right, which will lead to business. So we had a very good discussion about that.
Well, it's a super great point, because if you door knock once, they're never going to remember you. And it's the same with anything. You send one card, they're not going to remember you. You know, you make one phone call, they're not going to remember you. And that's why we have all these smart plans for continued conversation with them and continue reach out with them. So definitely take advantage of them.
Paula, we have a
What
lot
else?
of questions coming in on the chat about consistency. Definitely being consistent, trying something and seeing, you know, the return that you get on that. And if you get a return, continue to do it. It's about making daily efforts to connect with everyone. We've got stuff about networking and cocktail parties that people are setting up. Lead generation has to be personalized in order to feel comfortable and sound natural. And it's just trying a little bit of everything and seeing what works with you and your personality. And sometimes you have to stretch that rubber band and get a little uncomfortable before you get comfortable.
And you may be surprised at what activities you actually enjoy that you didn't think you would. Right. So I've had so many agents I've coached that said, I will never door knock. I hate door knocking. I will never door knock. And I encourage you guys to all try everything and just see what is a right fit. She went out there and it became her favorite form of lead generation. So until you try it, don't knock it, right? Or is it don't knock it till you try it?
There you go.
So some of the other things I got out of there, which I thought were really great, was be purposeful in your lead generation, right? So really put together a plan. Think about who you want to target, what avenue you want to go down, what method you want to use, and be purposeful about it. Like we said, just calling someone once isn't going to do it. You need to be top of mind and continue with that. Be proactive and plan ahead, right? If you don't plan ahead, you're going to be rushing something. If you set a date to go, let's say you set an event for your clients and you wait till the last minute to put it together, it's not going to be the event that you want it to be. And the same with even making phone calls. Prepare the night before so that you're ready that next day with who you're going to call and what you're going to say. Follow-up. Lead generation without lead follow-up is a giant waste of your time. Do not lead generate unless you're going to lead follow-up. When you do a Facebook ad and a lead comes in, you need to follow up with them immediately. And you need to continue to follow up with them, right? They're probably not going to say yes on the first call, and that's okay.
Right.
Stay in touch with them and continue to lead generate and continue to follow up with them. Have different avenues because different avenues bring different successes. What's right for one person may not be right for someone else. And you're not going to be successful in your lead generation unless you choose the activities that you can enjoy, right? We're always better at things that we love doing. So find the activities that you love doing, and then you'll love your job, and then you'll be more successful at it. One more thing I want to touch on, and I'm sure we touch on it later on Ignite, is the 5 daily activities for an agent, right? You lead generate, you lead follow-up, you negotiate contracts, you go on appointments, and you script and role play. Script and role play is not the last one. It's just listed last, but it is probably one of the most important.
I love that you said that, Paula. That always, I have to move that to first for me. Like in my brain, I want that to be the first one. And I would argue, to the point you were just making, that we could add a 6th thing. So if you put them in Gary's order, and we will because he's listening. So if you put them in Gary's order, it's first things first. It's we wanted to lead generate. After we lead generate, we lead follow up. To Paula's point, when we lead follow up, now we get into relationship and they start to ask us for things. I would argue the missing quadrant is, or the missing section is lead follow through. Because everyone who's a veteran on this call has had this happen. Well, Tim, I talked to you last week. Did you send that information over that I was looking for? And you're like, oh, and that's why command's so important, and having that database where we put notes to remind ourselves. Because there's a lot of agents that have things written on cocktail napkins and 3M notes flying around the console of their car, and those things never get done. So I would add that 6th task is lead follow through.
Mm-hmm.
Paula,
Right.
they're asking, can you repeat those 5 steps again, please?
Oh, absolutely. Lead generate, lead follow up, negotiate contracts, go on appointments, and script and role play. So obviously, if you don't have any contracts to negotiate, practice contracts. Practice writing an offer. Practice doing a CMA. Tighten up your listing presentation. Make it one step better. So there are lots of things you can do during that time if you don't have a contract to negotiate.
And when you're practicing your contracts, a good thing to do is actually read them over. Have an understanding of what it says.
Oh yeah. When you have a client that asks you a question on that contract and you don't know what it means, you want to make sure that you can at least explain it, right? We're not attorneys. So if they have serious questions, they have to go to their attorney, right?
Yep.
But you should be able to at least understand the lingo because they are all written in attorney language, right? So sometimes we need to interpret. Excellent. So did anyone have anything else they wanted on there?
Can I ask a question? They talk about doing open houses every weekend, and I put it in the chat. How do you do open houses if you don't have the listings? And then some people said, you ask other agents in your office if you can cover their listings. But if I'm covering another agent's listing and people come in as leads, they would be their leads, not mine.
So typically you have to talk to the agent and make sure it's very clear. But I know that in our market centers, if an agent covers somebody else's open house, they get all the unrepresented buyers or sellers.
Yes.
So
Make sure
the goal of the listing agent is to sell the house.
Right.
And you're helping them out with that.
But please make sure that you do have that conversation with an agent just for your own sake. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want to assume that that's what they're thinking as well.
Right.
Yeah, some agents actually will have, they have sort of a little protocol sheet or almost like a contract that they'll go over with you, how they want you to behave and set up the open house, what things they're expecting of you when you cover, especially if you're new. I would definitely ask if you've never done an open house before, see if you can shadow with that agent first and then offer to cover open houses for them after, so that you know that you're representing their brand and that way they can trust you and you can build a relationship within your market center. So yeah, some people are more particular than others, so you definitely want to have that conversation.
Yeah, as long as it falls within the guidelines of your market center, like we have our private Facebook page here at KWCLM. The way I instruct new agents to go on and ask this question, because you want to hold that other agent to a standard. Because if you walk in and you're new to our company or whatever the case may be, and you say, "Hey, I want to do a 7th level open house for you," page 71 or page 171 in the red book, by the way, and they've seen pictures and heard stories of the 7th level open house, they're suddenly going to hold you to the standard that they've never adopted. So the way I would ask it, if I go on our private Facebook page here at KWCLM, I always tell agents to say, "Does anybody have an open house that I can shadow so I can learn your standard so I can hold one for you in the future?" Because I want to go and I want to watch Paula hold hers so I can do it to her standard, not like suddenly she's like, "Yeah, do that 7th level thing Gary talks about." Because suddenly and there's no leverage there for you whatsoever because you've never done it. Just do it to their standard. And we have agents in our market center that, for sure, to Erin's point, they've got paperwork with a written commitment. You're going to do it just like this. And you've been with them on one of theirs so you can see them do it in action. And I think that's the best way to learn. And that way, then you're ready to do your next one by yourself and then ultimately get into the conversations with the right people to make sure you have a listing to hold one of your own sooner than later.
Tim, I'd like to piggyback on that. In our market center, if you are a brand new agent, you actually shadow 3 open houses at ours with 3 different agents in our office. Because I don't want you to look at the same person because everyone does it differently and I want you to find your way. So again, the other thing I have them do, because we get a lot of emails and not every agent checks our Facebook page, is that they actually call the agent. So call the listing agent in the office. "Hey, I saw you got a new listing. Can I help you shadow that open house? I want to watch you learn. And I know you have a new listing, so it might be kind of busy," especially for us in Massachusetts with COVID. We really need 2 people to manage who's going kind of in and out of the open houses. So that's kind of how we do it, and it works really well. And the fact is, you get comfortable making phone calls because you're calling people in our office. And I tell everyone, you got to call people in our office and be comfortable with that because you're making calls to other people. So none of our agents are going to bite.
Right. So open houses are a great source of lead generation. If you have not done them yet, highly suggested. So 20 years ago when I became an agent, they were a giant waste of time. Nobody ever came to them. But now with the internet and so much more social media out there, open houses are a great lead generation resource. So if you guys can turn to page 6 in your participation guide, you're going to find a list of prospecting and marketing activities that you can refer to in the future. They're also on page 138 of your MREA book, and they're also on page 65 of Shift. So the fact that these lists have made it to both is means that it's pretty comprehensive. So it's your best practice is to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. So what does that mean? It means reach out to people and also stay in touch, right? So you have so many different categories and different activities that you can do on those lists.
Sorry to interrupt, it's Erin. You were breaking up a little bit. Can you just rewind like a minute?
Sorry, sure. Did you get the page 138 of the MREA?
Yeah,
page
start
65 of the Shift. Okay. So there's a list of both types of activities in there, and it's a best practice to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced. So marketing, like we said, is indirect. It's going to attract leads and give you reasons to have conversations, right? So if you follow up with them, you'll still get their business. So prospecting is proactive and direct. So I think based on everything we're saying, it's obvious we want to stay more in the prospecting world, right? It's time intensive, it's proactive, and you get immediate results. So if you're looking to get immediate business, work in the prospecting world. Later on, when you're making money and your business is moving, then you can target marketing a little bit more. So prospecting also is longer term, right? So it's going to work out. An example is farming, right? So if you're going to farm a neighborhood, you are basically reaching out to them. You're going to pop by. You're going to drop them off little gifts. You're going to give them phone calls. You're going to maybe run an event, all the things you would do for your farm. And those results probably won't happen your first week doing it. Can you guys hear me? It says my speaker's not working. You can, okay. But as time goes on, that farm will definitely come and build your business as long as you're systematically doing it. So it also, when you're also prospecting, you're also learning more about the market, right? So we want to be market experts as well. Does anyone have any questions about prospecting versus marketing? And I hope that you all looked at your list. Good, okay. All right, so now we're gonna move on to part 2, which is your database, which is super important.
All right.
Heidi, I think you're up.
I am. I will take that now, and I am going to bounce back and forth between sharing my command. Actually, Paula, do you have the PowerPoint?
Not handy.
Okay. All right.
But
So
I
I'm
can
gonna
grab
bounce
it while
back
you're
and
doing
forth
that.
at this time just to share my command. But we're going to talk about your database and what your database in command is actually used for. So it centrally stores information. You should be updating it regularly. It can be organized to meet specific needs that you have for your business, and your lead generation will feed your database. So it's important that everyone truly understands the purpose of having a database. Keller Williams has developed Command as a platform, and in the Command is a part of your database. The database is the tool that centrally stores all of your contact and prospect information, regularly updated with new details and events that you add to it. And it can be organized and sorted in a way that meets the needs for your business. We're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to custom tags and what that can do. So your database is a tool to nurture and manage the relationships that you have. Now you've heard Paula mention smart plans. So that's where nurturing comes from. And it will also track your interactions that you have with the people so that when you want to know the last time you went in and either emailed something or had a conversation with a client of yours, you're going to be able to go under their name and see the last time you interacted with them. So a well-tended database is kind of like a garden. The more time you spend in it, feeding it, nurturing it, weeding it, the more bounty it's going to produce for you. And a powerful database managed by a powerful schedule that you set will predict a relatively good flow of business. You can pretty much count on business coming in from your database if you regularly work in it, just like a garden. Picture it being a garden. You don't work in it, you don't get bounty from it. And from that predictable flow of leads or business, you can expect your business to grow and your income to grow as well. So what we say at Keller Williams is the size of your database will determine the size of your bank account. So if you want to have a very big bank account, plan on having a good sized database. So we're going to go back to looking at this funnel again here. The database is the second segment of the lead generation model. And lead generation efforts bring in leads and contacts into your database. That's number 2. So in Command, it will automatically segment your database into 2 powerful categories, leads and contacts. And in your database, leads and contacts are segmented because you are going to be working with them in different ways. So on the screen, you see here that leads, you have a valid contact information, and you can have a one-way conversation with a lead where you're seeking permission. So a lead might be, you run a Facebook ad for a listing in your market center, let's say. And somebody clicks on that Facebook ad and you collect their lead information, and that will be sent to your Command as a lead. When you open Command, you'll see it listed as a lead. Now, so far, you've collected their information, but you haven't been able to speak with them. So when you set out to have that conversation, you're seeking their permission. So you're going to make a phone call and you're going to say, hey, the lead came in on an ad I ran in Command. In Facebook. I'm reaching out to see how I might help you. Now, a contact is different. You already have their contact information and you've received permission to have a two-way conversation. So a contact might be somebody that is a friend of yours. They're in Command. You already have all of their information. You have their permission to be contacting them. Is anybody confused over the 2 of these? I don't have my chat open, so I need somebody to. Anything coming in?
Nope.
Okay.
People are saying it makes
That's
sense.
very clear.
Yep, makes sense.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
I just want to know if there's something that you would automatically do when, say you have this lead, you've reached out and contacted the person to say, yes, you've indicated an interest in a property, and I was just wondering if there's something I can do to give you more information with that lead. And then that person continues with their interest to a point where then they become a contact. Now you're having further conversations with them. They've indicated interest. Now there's someone who's moved into a category where they are now a contact, where they are probably going to be a client of yours, someone who's interested in buying or selling or something like that. Do you go into the Command system and move them over physically into the contacts portion? How does that work? Or how is that indicated in the Command system where it goes from leads to contacts when they go from a lead to a contact?
All right, so I think I understand what you're saying, and I'm going to try to answer that, and just let me know if I'm a little off base. When that lead comes in and you actually have a two-way conversation with them, they're still going to be a lead because you're working with them until they become an active client. So you're going to set them up on a smart plan for whatever they are, whatever their need is. If they are a buyer looking for a home, you're going to set them up on a buyer smart plan and get contracts or agreements signed with them to start working with them as a client. After you go through the contract to close with them and they go back up into your funnel, they're now your contacts. They're now your contacts. So you're going to be
I gotcha.
And contacting them throughout the year, checking in, making sure things are going well. Does that bring clarity to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I understand. Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. So Leads, you have their contact information, but you don't necessarily know the lead's motivation, but you can kind of get an idea as to what it is if you, depending on how that lead came in. Was it a buyer lead? Was it a seller lead? Was it a rental lead? Contacts, you have implied or explicit permission to have an ongoing connection with them. You've communicated with them and they're responding. So what are some of the lead or contact sources that you can think of? I mentioned one already when I said if you ran a Facebook campaign ad through Command. So that would be a lead source. What are some other lead source or contact sources that you can think of? You put it in the chat. This ties in a lot when it comes to prospecting and marketing as well. Anything coming up?
Yeah, open houses, what we talked about was even a lead source.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great lead source.
LinkedIn contacts, referral from friends, Instagram, social media, places you regularly visit, previous business contacts.
So, right.
Great ideas.
So there's the different leads. Leads typically tend to come from people that you don't know. Neighborhood or geographic farming, social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, an ad that you ran, a social media post that you put out. Contacts typically come from some sort of warm source. Sphere of influence, family, friends, neighbors, coworkers, past coworkers, school, college friends of yours, teammates if you belong to a team, if you meet somebody at the gym regularly. So that's the difference between leads and contacts, and the way Command is going to end up having you list them.
So Heidi, can I just pop in for 1 second?
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of feedback on business cards, and I just want to say that if you think about our goal here, and our goal is to stay in constant contact with people and to build our relationship with them, giving out your business card may not be the most effective way, and more so concentrate on getting their information. Because when you get their information, you're going to have full control over what you do with it and how you get in touch with them. If you just give out your business card, I know what I do with business cards, and I'm sure most of us do, right? They go in the bottom of your purse, they're under the seat of your car. You have every intention of reaching out and using those business cards, and quite often you don't. So focus on getting their information so you can put them into your database as opposed to giving out your business card.
Really
Paula,
good
you make a great point. I think I always ask our agents to be intriguing enough to be asked for your business card, right? Because we get into bold and people want to do the 100 contacts and they consider handing out 100 business cards as 100 contacts. Gary would argue that a contact is receiving that person's contact information. So if you're handing out, to Paula's point, 100 business cards, 95 of them are going into somebody's, circular filing system. And then the other 5 people probably had really good intentions and they lose them. So I would argue as a Keller Williams agent, you've got your KW app. And I reference this as the business card they will never lose. Most people in your life have a flat glass phone like this that will have that app on it. And once you infect their phone with your app, then they can start to share it with their people. So and stay in integrity. Even if you have a business card in your pocket, when they ask you for your card, say, you know what, I think I'm all out. Do you have your phone with you? And share your app. Then once your app is on their phone, you can discover that you have one business card left in your pocket. But more important to get that app to them because that gives you the opportunity to stay connected with them.
That's a good point, Tim. I want to just share with you a little something that when Jen Bovey was my coach, and she probably doesn't remember this, but it stuck with me for all these years. As a new agent, I focused a lot on business cards. I thought business cards were really, really important to hand out. And she challenged me. She said, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to carry around 10 business cards a day. And your job is to get rid of those business cards, but you have to get 10 back. So I would hand I'd be talking to somebody and they'd say, do you have a business card? And I'd say, yes, I do. And I'd hand them mine, and I'd say, now can I have yours, please? Oh, I don't have a business card. Oh, okay, that's unfortunate. Let me just take your information down. And so I'd open up my notes and I'd take their information down. Or if I had an extra business card, I would write it on the back of that. And my job, this was a great way to just do some lead generating, was to take those 10 business cards every day and go out and meet 10 new people and exchange information. Of course, this was before we had the app. So this was going old school, but it was a fun game to do. All right, so on this slide, we're looking at here, Command has set up a way for you to have a successful database by establishing a consistent and purposeful way to communicate with your leads and your contacts. This comes in the form of using a touch campaign or a smart plan to stay top of mind. On page 7, I believe, of your participation guide, you should see something in your guide. The recommended touch campaign for leads and contacts are different. So if you look at this screen, it says 19 to be able to connect to a lead. So that's saying that there are 19 touches for you to actually connect to a lead and be able to maybe move forward with that lead. Now that's not carved in stone. It could be the first contact, or it could be the 25th, or it could be the second.
Okay, I updated commissions.
Whoops, somebody's talking about updated commissions. That's you. Okay, that's all right, Kenyon. So the way this breaks down for leads is in your smart plan, there are going to be 4 quarterly phone calls. So 4 touches, that's a phone call every quarter. 12 touches could be either a monthly email or a newsletter or a market report or a video that you might be sending them. 2 touches could be a promotional direct mail, such as a magnet, a calendar, a market report, a sport schedule once we get back into having normal baseball and football schedules that can be produced. I know I still send them out every year. And 1 touch would be a event that you invite them to. Maybe it's a party, a movie, it could be a cup of coffee, simple as a cup of coffee. So that's what they're saying for a touch campaign for leads. Now for contacts, it's a little bit more because we want to stay top of mind with them. They've already either worked with us or we're friends with them, their family, we know them. So we want to constantly just, let them know that we're here in case they need us for anything. So it goes with 4 telephone calls, 26 touches for bi-weekly email offerings of some type of information or item of value that you're sending to them, 2 touches for a get-together, party, event, and that can count if it's friends and family, that can count as going out to dinner together or getting together at birthday parties. And then 4 touches of promotional direct mail, such as, again, a magnet, calendar, market report. Maybe it's even a newsletter that you send to them in the mail. So it's relevant conversations that you have means relevant value. So you always want to be putting something out there to them or having that phone call that's going to create some value. Even if it's that I'm just checking in on you with that forward script and seeing how things are going. And is there anything that I can do for your family or for you? That's creating value because you're putting them first. And timely conversations mean greater opportunity to be able to convert that lead into a contact and then onto a closed transaction. All right. All right, so now we're going to take a look at, and bear with me, I'm going to pull up my database. All right. Can everybody see my database? My command? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So what we're going to look at right now is contacts in command. This is what your contact page looks like in command. You have a big green button up here that says add contact. This is what you would be clicking on to be able to fill in the contact information. So you should be adding contacts that you have connected with already, people that you have, personal contacts, social media, past coworkers, anybody that's in your phone. We talked about that yesterday. You see these tags right here? Friend, past buyer, buyers, church. These are called custom tags, and I'm just going to happen to open. We're going to open her. All right, so in here, this is inside of one contact. I have her information. I have her on a neighborhood smart plan. And I also have, this is all of the activity that I am tracking on her. So when she is subscribed to a smart plan, when I've sent her an email, when she's asked me for something, all of the notes go right in here. Custom tags allow me to be able to search for her in my database according to, let's say I wanted to send something out to a group of friends. So I could put in, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I could put in a smart search and I could just look up my friends. And let's say I wanted to send a quick text message out to all of them. I could do that within command. Maybe I want to send an email just to my friends. I can do that within command, according to the group or the custom tag that they are under. So custom tags allow you to create the categories that you want to have within your contacts. They already have built-in custom tags. These are the gray ones here that say buyer, seller, renter, investor, first-time buyer, luxury, open house contact, etc. And some folks want to segment their database into categories in which that help them communicate more with each group, which is what I had just said about friends. If I only wanted to send something out to my friends, I could go under my smart view up here and click on it and click just my smart view for friends. And it's going to bring me up my friends. Now you may be asking why I have other tags on here. I have other tags because I have them also, they cross over into other custom tagged areas. So this one here is a past buyer, a past seller, as is this one here. This one here happens to be an agent, but she's also a friend. This one here, I go to church with her. So I go to church, she's a friend and a past seller. So if I wanted to set up 3 different contacts, 3 different emails, or 3 different smart plans, I could have her in one of each or in all of them. Any questions? So just out of curiosity, in the chat, think about when you're setting up your contacts in your database, what are some of the custom tags you might be using for groups of people that you know? How might you custom tag them? And put it in the chat. What do you think would be useful?
Renters, circle of influence, friends, neighbors, past employers, sphere of influence, DTD2.
Yes.
Hockey moms, baseball, professional sphere, farm.
Yeah.
Agents.
Good. Start thinking like that. Start thinking of how you're going to be able to group these people, because this is such a powerful platform that we have, and you can do so much with it and customize it and divide it up and really, really make this database work for you.
And
So
Mariah says that she she tags them with platinum, gold, or silver based on how important it is that she wants, she has to deal with them and where they are in her pipeline.
That's great. I've heard of, some people may have heard of Brian Buffini and may have taken his classes before, but Brian Buffini categorizes his database as A's, A+, A, B, C, and D.
Mhm.
And he says, if I have D's in there, D's mean dump. So he gets them out. But this is, as I said, this is your garden. You need to tend this daily. You need to weed it. You need to feed it. You should be feeding it more than you are weeding it. So
And another important thing is I see a lot of people are confused by tags, it says on here, Heidi.
okay.
So something important to keep in mind, guys, is you can put as many tags on one person as you want.
Yep. Yes.
So
There's also another comment about this being really hard and feeling a little overwhelming. And I'm sure, I think it was Bethany who said that you're not the only person feeling that way about all of this. And recognize that Command is a big, huge platform and it is going to help you with your business. Take one piece at a time. Spend a little, if you commit to spending 10 or 20 minutes every day to learning something and build on that learning every day, it will be, at the end of this month, it will be a lot less overwhelming. I think you posted the link, Heidi, for Nick Baldwin and for Marty Miller's videos. Most of them are 10 minutes. If you just do one of those, it will, you won't want to run away.
Yes, yes. And please, we do understand, as Erin said, that this is overwhelming. I mean, at times this is overwhelming for some of us coaches as well in learning and teaching it. But it's like the saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So don't feel as if you have to all of a sudden know this in a week. The Command 101 and Marty Miller's YouTube videos, which are posted on the Ignite 2.0 page, are extremely helpful. This is where we want you to focus, and spending that few minutes a day when you're working on Command, follow that along. Pause the video, open your Command, and do exactly what that leader just did. And that's how you're going to learn how to do this, one bite at a time. All right. All right, so let's just take a little bit of a look at the custom tag. We'll go back into here. So down here, I've opened up to edit the contact. If I wanted to add another custom tag to her, I have a whole list of them. Anything is in gray, again, is preloaded in Command. Anything that is a colored tag is something that I have loaded. So I can do any custom tag I want. I can put 10 of them on her if they applied. I could put none of them if they didn't apply. So to do a custom tag, you just click on the tag and it adds. If you want to get rid of it, you click on the X and that's that. And then you would end up saving. Always remember to save. I can tell you, I went through adding a bunch of tags, never hit save, and they never appeared. So, and we're going to quickly take a look at, quickly at smart plans because we've talked about them so much. On my screen here is a library of smart plans that I have. These are pre-made smart plans. And the way a smart plan, let's see if I can, a smart plan has, let me see if I can open it. All right, so a smart plan has touches. These are the touches that are within a smart plan here. This is what it looks like when you are creating one, or if you have one that has been pre-created. They have a day one touch, and then you can set a delay. You can set up a smart plan to have a phone call, an email, a text message. Those are the 3 ways that the smart plan can be set up. Those are the 3 ways to connect. And as I said, you can set this up if you want to build your own smart plan, or you can use one that's already created in your library. I'm not going to go too far into this. I'd rather have you folks learn from Nick Baldwin and Marty Miller, because this can get overwhelming, and I did not want it to go there. All right. So we just wanted to touch a little bit on smart plans. We don't even need this now. And a little bit of command, just so you could see what it looks like for those of you that either don't have command set up yet, or are maybe not with Keller Williams yet. What are some of the questions we have here? Does the phone call smart plan get added to your task? Yes, what it'll do is it will remind you. So your task, when you open up your command every day, you will have a list of, it's like a to-do list.
And a lot of times it'll give you a script as well.
Yeah. Okay, any questions about what we went over today with lead generation? And like I said, we just touched on command a little bit. We were not going to get into this too deeply at this time. Any ahas that you've had, or anything that you need clarification on?
I want to share my shirt with you guys. I don't know if you can see it.
Real estate is a contact sport.
Worn today for this class.
Yes, lead generation is a must. Yes, how to send, Tim, how to send the app to your clients. I think as someone wrote down here, it went by too fast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Tim's frozen.
No, I'm right here.
There he is. All right, Tim, I think somebody was asking, you were talking about sending the app.
Sure. Yeah, so if you've got your actual KW consumer app, not Kelly, but your consumer app on your phone. If you don't have it yet, when you do get it, one of the clunky things that people do is they try to log in as an agent. You want to use a personal email address, and you want to create a consumer experience for yourself on your consumer app. And then you choose yourself as your agent of choice. So if I run into Paula, we're having a conversation, I have a couple of business cards on me, and truth be told, I wasn't really good at carrying them when I was in production. I did. I just didn't carry it. I don't have a hobo bag. Like half of the ladies on this call probably have a hobo bag. They've got like their Buick in there, 3 kids, all the things. Yeah. I mean, I love a good handbag, ladies, but I didn't carry one that big. So anyway, I rarely had enough business cards on me. So I would always default to, and of course, since we've had this app, we've had a form of our agent app for a very long time. And it used to be really clunky, so clunky that we actually had to buy, you didn't have to, I bought a URL to send people, because we had to send them to this user page. It was awful. So thank the Lord that we've got better tech now. You open up your phone, ultimately, if you look at your consumer app, and the same way when you're like a farmer's market and they give you the iPad and they put you in control of the transaction, I would open the phone if I don't have the person. And as Gary would say, we always want this to be permission based anyway. So I'm going to open up my KW app, and I know you can't really see it. It's going to open. It's bright white, and I have Sprint, so it'll take longer anyway. But it's going to get to the point where I go in and I select that page with all my data on it. And then I'm just going to add the person. And how I want to share this is hitting the share button. It gives you the opportunity to text it to someone. And at that point, if I don't have their number, here's where I start to politely, with permission, gather their intel. I hand them the phone and say, would you put your phone number in there? They do that. And when they hit send, they hear a ding on their phone. They open it up and you stand there with them as they download the app. Because all it's going to do is send a branded link for you to their phone. It's going to force them into either the Google Play Store or the iOS store to download the actual app. So they've got to do that. Now, here's where you run into some clunkiness. If I'm trying to do this with my great uncle, he probably has a jitterbug. He doesn't have a real phone anyway, but he's, they don't have their password. They're not logging into their store all the time. So they have no idea how to get there. It might be a little clunkier. For most people that we're going to engage with, they're always downloading apps. It goes right in, it downloads, stand there with them, confirm that they have it downloaded. And your next quick conversation is basically, hey, I'd love for you to kick the tires for a little bit with this app. If I check in with you in a couple of days, will you give me your feedback? And they're going to be happy to do that. If you edify them in the conversation, then ask for permission, they're always going to be okay with that. And again, you're not doing this with random strangers. You're doing this with people that you know, love, and trust. You could do an entire day of phone calls around the app. Like, hey, my company just gave us some really cool tech. You're one of the people that I know is really good with tech. Ted, if I sent you my app, would you be willing to kick the tires on it for a few days and I can check back with you at the end of the week and see what you like or don't like? Simple enough. I've got some friends that are really special. I'm going to use that word to be polite on this call. And they were blown away by what our consumer app does. When it wasn't even in development yet, they were like, if it does that, it's going to be a Zillow killer. And we're not worried about being a Zillow killer. We just need to get our app into people's hands so they start using our app as opposed to all the other apps, because that puts you in control of the conversation. So again, just opening it up to share, hitting that text button and having them put the number in and getting permission. I would not start spamming your app out to all your friends, because they're going to wonder what it is. They're going to have no context and not asking permission, even with your mother. My mom would call me and be like, Timothy, what are you doing? I don't know what this is. Like, just get permission, walk them through the process. They'll feel more cared for. If they feel heard and cared for, they're going to be consumers for life.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim.
Tim, I have a follow-up question about the app. So I was actually very curious about all that, and so I followed along with you. And when I look myself up in the app, it's got my name, my email, phone number, and all that, but there's no picture attached to it or anything like that on my profile. Is there a way for us to go in and like customize the way that we look in the app?
Yeah, I trust me, Nolan, you're a good looking dude. I'd love to be able to fix the way I look in the app. Unfortunately, I can't. The tech isn't that good yet. Although this is really a back end thing for us as agents to go into our white pages and make sure the information is accurate. Right. And I'm saying that because the last time I updated all my photos and stuff like that, I went through white pages. You could probably do it through the app too, but we can have that conversation offline for sure.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay. Some people are actually saying here that they've done some Facebook posts around their app and put a Facebook post out there, put the app link in there. Or Instagram as well.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Sure.
So I have the app downloaded, and I'm sorry if this has been explained, but when I go on it, I'm there. My profile, it shows me as the agent. But I just tried it on my teenage son, and when he receives it, it doesn't show me as an agent. So that's apparently the missing link that I'm missing, is that I'm sending it to people. Well, I haven't yet because I haven't figured it out. But it isn't personalized to me.
So so there's two things. One, are you logged into the app as yourself as an agent?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that might be, so you're basically just like sending the app to your son, but it's not the same link. If you are logged and you're looking at it as an agent, if you have the app on your phone as your consumer, you can share it from your phone or your iPad easier. Otherwise, you can go into your command account and you can share, there's a link there that you can share from there.
So share it from.
I actually have the app as a consumer myself, and the same issue happens to me. I send my app.
You have to be, if you're in the app as a consumer, you have to choose yourself as the agent.
Yeah.
Right.
but
Right.
don't log into it as an agent. Log into it
No.
as a consumer. And then you can hit the little box with the arrow and you can send
To
it
share
out
it.
to your friend. It'll say, hey, you know, check out my friend Erin. And this is her app, and it will be branded to you. They may still have the choice to choose a different agent. So that's why you want to have a conversation around it, right? So you want to make sure hey, I'm going to send you my app, check it out. It's going to say it's coming from me. You may actually have to go in and choose me as your agent.
Right.
It depends on, sometimes I think people get it that way. It's funny. I know there are a few agents out there that have my app on their phone and don't realize it, and they'll share it, and then I'll get a random
You're
like
so
hit on my,
shady, McLaughlin. So dicey. Of course. Yeah. So guys, just as a heads up here, if you're looking, when you go into share and if you go to the next screen, one more screen deep, you should have kwri.app.link/ and then there's your unique user code. And if you want to punch in to see what a landing screen looks like, God help us all, mine is KW2BXP0PN, and that will take you to the old school page we had back in the 40s where you had to go and ask them to send you a postcard. It was awful. But that is now going to just directly link them. So when they do actually download the app, it will be automatically branded to you.
right.
And again, if you guys have questions about this after class,
Yeah,
feel free to
email
reach out
us.
to any one of us. We can help you guys out with it.
Yeah.
And I will also say that you can learn this with
Yes.
Marty Miller's 66-day challenge
Around the app.
around the app. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll post that in the Facebook group later, so everybody can check that out later. I'll make sure to put it, I'm going to make a note, and we'll specifically post that, and you guys can check that out.
Awesome. Thank you.
The other thing is to be patient as a new agent. It does take some time to get into the system. So if you can't find yourself yet, just give it a few days. If there's still an issue, let your coach or your team leader or your tech person know. But it does take some time. There's a lot of people being entered into the system, and it does take time to filter through.
Yep. Okay. So at this time, we're going to take a 10-minute break. I would like you to be back here by 10:43. Okay. All right, so we'll go on break. 10 minutes. I was muted and I was talking. Time to come back, everyone.
Oh, Bill just ordered the MREA.
I saw that.
Yeah. You know what's funny is so it's kind of like if you've never read it and you're new to the industry, it's a little bit like doesn't make any sense the first time you read it, or at least for me it didn't. And same with the one thing. I read the one thing the first time coming from being a public school teacher. And I was like, what are you talking about one thing? This is craziness. But I think it was like the third time I read it, and then I got to get coached, and with, I don't know, so it in the one thing, and then I was like, oh, I get it now. But so if you don't get it the first time, just read it again.
Yeah, read it a couple of times. You know what I found, Erin? I've been teaching the 4 models from the MREA, and I ended up, because of teaching it, really got a different perspective when I read it this time and went over it because of teaching it. So it was a completely different, well, not completely, but really opened up my eyes to some things that I probably just glossed over before.
Another great thing is to start a book club around it.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That is true. And I love book clubs. I taught business planning clinic with Tim how many times last year? 5 times we did it?
432.
Yeah, at least. All over our footprint of our company. And I think by the last time that we taught it, I was like, oh, I can nail this now. But the first time I had read it a couple times and it was still a little confusing. So I think just, you know, it's really good information for any business owner, but it's not, I guess we always joke, it's not the most riveting read. And if you're
Let's be hyper clear. It's not a romance novel, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not a page turner. It is the blueprint for the industry.
Right.
Right. Yet these are the systems and the models. This is what we were talking about earlier, being prospecting based, marketing enhanced. This is the dry cake that we get to frost with our personality after the fact. We don't get to frost an unbaked cake. This is the recipe, whether you like it or not. These are the 11 herbs and spices that make the chicken good after the colonel's dead. Thank God our colonel's still here. Gary's still here. If you don't adopt these standards, you're going to run a very different business. No judgment. It'll be different than what most people at our company that have leaned into this book are experiencing on a regular basis. Everyone on stage with him next week at Mega Camp, the virtual stage, they're leaning into the tenets of these books. This and Shift. This is the blueprint for the business. Shift is the playbook for the activities.
Yep. Tim, you got a lot of frosting on your cake.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
I'm a buoyant gentleman. Yes, the fat kids love the frosting. We love it. Love it. Frost my cake.
Okay, everyone. So hopefully everybody is back. We are going to be doing some script practice now. So let's go over this so we get some clarity around this, so we understand how the breakout rooms work. What's my count? 206. Tim, can you do the math if we want to have about 5 people in a breakout room? How
Are we
many?
doing the new math or,
How many?
or
Yeah,
the old
yeah.
math?
Do the
New math.
calculus that it requires, please.
Stand by.
So
What do we
in
want?
your
5
breakout
then?
room,
40.
40?
We have people leaving because we're going to do script practice. Don't
went
leave.
down.
Yeah, you should have lied and said we're giving away a Buick. Yeah.
Don't leave.
Buick and a
All of you
European
that stay, you get a new car.
We're not telling you it's a Matchbox car, but you know.
I know, right? A picture. I'm
Okay.
going to send you a picture of a car.
Well,
So
the activities are the most important part, guys.
they
So-
are, and if I have to say this, that if you are uncomfortable practicing with the people that are just as uncomfortable with you, then you're not going to be able to grow from that. You've got to be here. You've got to practice. You've got to play all in. This is a safe place for you to learn. Okay? So we're going to open up the breakout rooms. We're going to put people in the breakout rooms. And I keep seeing my number go down. 190 now.
I know.
And
We have to work on our conversion rate, Heidi.
I guess so. I'm just not going to tell them what I'm going to do next time.
I know, right?
The other thing is that every day is going to be different, as we talked about. So some days we're going to start with scripts. Some days
Yes.
we'll start with lead gen. So you need to be here for the whole 3 hours to really get the most out of the experience.
Yep. All right. So
All right, we have some people staying. We have 185 people staying. Yay!
Okay. All right. Good. It's going down again. So we're going to put you into breakout rooms. Please, everybody, do you have the Spark script book? It's found in the toolkit on the Ignite 2.0 Facebook page that Erin painstakingly reconstructed yesterday. Bless her heart. You get a Buick. Tim's buying you a real one, though.
I'm gonna post it in the chat too.
Okay. All right.
I'll
Thank
post
you.
it right now.
So you need to have the script book. When you get into the breakout room, you're going to be in there with people that you're going to practice reading the scripts with. You're going to take turns. That's what you're going to do. You're going to pick, somebody's going to be the client, somebody's going to be the agent. And you're going to read the script verbatim as it is. It's just like you're reading a story to somebody, except where you need to pause for that other person to answer, pause. But read it just the way it's written. Okay? There's every
Which script are we using?
So they have their choice. It's one of
Okay,
the three.
right. All right, great.
One of the three we went over yesterday, they have their choice. Okay?
Perfect.
Does anybody need more clarity around this? Does anybody have any questions about what you're going to be doing when you get in the room? Erica says she has questions.
So I wonder if the questions are just around how to script practice. So you're just gonna read it through and take turns.
Yep.
That's all.
That's it. The
You
other
can
thing
even read it together. If you want to like break the ice when you first get into your group, just sort of like 1, 2, 3, and all read it together at the same time. It's called a neurological impress. It actually has a name. It helps to get words in your head. So you could do that and then take turns reading it through. That might be an easy way to just break the ice and go.
Okay.
I have a question. Sorry. So I'm on Facebook, Ignite, Keller Williams Ignite, but where do I press on to open those scripts?
It's in your script. It's in the script book. Someone else posted that they were having a hard time downloading it, so I don't know if I have to repost
We just
that.
put it in the chat too. It's in the chat as well.
I just put it in the chat, and I can post it in the chat again if the link on Facebook is not working for some reason. And then you can download it right from the chat to your computer. So I'll put it again there.
And I've found that the new Facebook, you know how Facebook has changed its look and there's a new one and an old one?
Yeah.
The new Facebook doesn't open a lot of groups and a lot of different things. So sometimes you have to go back to the old Facebook to get something open.
Thanks, Paula. Yeah.
It's the 13-page book.
Yes.
It's titled Spark Script Book.
Yeah.
Right on the page.
God.
Right on here. Spark Script Book, it will say. All right. There are 3 scripts, the first 3 scripts in that book. Those are the ones that you can practice. Read them out loud to each other, take turns. And the caveat is when I put you in the breakout room, please stay in there. Stay in there for a couple of minutes because we have over 150 people that have to get into their rooms. It does take a little while. Don't bounce in, go look around, nobody's here, and bounce back out. Okay?
And find it.
Sit and wait a minute or two for people to filter in. Okay? All right. So we are at, I need a new number now. We're at 163 divided by 5. 33 breakout rooms. All right. It's going to pop up on your screen asking you to accept I don't have access to do the breakout room.
Oh no.
I don't know why it's not on my,
Here, hang tight. Well, you're a co-host. You should be able to.
Yeah.
Let me see if I have it on.
Yeah, I don't.
I had it yesterday. I don't know why I don't have it today.
Jen stepped away yesterday, maybe because Jen's showing up as the host, but
So
usually.
Jen is the host. She put myself and Heidi as co-hosts, so we should have all the same tools, but I don't see it at the bottom of my screen either. She may have needed to put it on ahead of time in the settings, and maybe it didn't get clicked. So this is live teaching online, everybody.
We're all doing scripts together.
We're gonna, we can do,
You could share a screen and we could all say it together a couple times and see if we can, at that point, get in touch with Jen to get the breakout started.
We can do that. But I'll tell you something, Lorna, if we all try it together, there's a lag on Zoom, so we're not gonna be able to hear. It's not gonna be.
Heidi, you want to just run through it?
I think, what
you
about?
And I will. We're hoping Jen pops on.
What if all the PC coaches each did one with each other?
So, I think the other thing too is it's really important for everyone here, though, that like to hear us maybe to do it, but also to feel those words in your mouth. It's really important. So if you want to read along out loud in the privacy of your home with your microphones off, I think that could be another solution because, we know these scripts, right?
What if you guys,
know them.
What if you guys just like chose randomly out of us here? That way, I mean, if we're here, then we obviously don't mind doing it. So maybe you guys could just pick people randomly and say, okay, go, so that we can actually do it. Because like yesterday, I didn't get to do it in our chat room either. So I don't know if anybody else feels like that. But.
Kelly, if you want to volunteer to read a script,
I'll totally do it. Yeah, because I just feel like listening to you guys do it is awesome, but you already do it. So
Right.
I'll do it with you.
Oh, okay.
Bill.
Kelly and Bill. Awesome.
Okay, great.
I'm muting myself. Take it away.
Do you have the scripts in front of you? Which script are you guys using? Should we share a script on the screen? Which better?
Which one?
I just have the new to real estate one in front of me, but I can go to the next page to the new to Keller Williams or the remind them you're in real estate.
All right. Which one do you want? I've got it up on the screen.
So if you want to do new
at the top.
You want to do real estate, do the one that you have and you want to call me or you want me to call you? I'm sorry if you can hear the Lion King in the background, but I have a 1-year-old and I have to keep him occupied right now.
That's all right. You want to do the calling first and then on the next one I'll do it?
Sure.
Go back and forth?
Yeah, sure. I know the other one a little bit better just because I am new to Keller Williams, so I knew that one a little better, but this one is okay. So okay, I'm sorry. When you're ready, do I want me to break the phone too? Okay, so ringing.
Hello.
Hi, this is Kelly. Bill?
Yes. Hello, Kelly. How are you?
Good, Bill. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Great. How have you been? How are things with your family? How are things going? I know everything in the world is so crazy right now. How are things for you guys?
You nailed that one on the head. You know, we're still trying to wait for school to start and the craziness that's going to surround hybrid school system this year. It'll be exciting and different and confusing and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I hear so many different ways of how things are being taught, and all I can think to myself is, wow, there's really so much going on that I'm glad I'm not doing it, but I really feel for those that are. How are you doing? Are you still teaching?
Yeah, I am, but I'm looking to do something that I can control myself a little bit more now.
Okay, all right, very good. Are you guys still doing a lot with the new addition that you were going to be putting on for the barn?
Yeah, still working with the architect and trying to figure out how we can actually do it with building codes and getting what we want out of it. But it's a process.
Wow, it is a huge process to go through that. And I know that right now I've heard a lot of how the contractors are behind. So everything with COVID has been, it's a little bit of a dig in a lot of things for people.
And the cost of everything has gone up too. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it's hard to, keep track of what's going on. Yeah. But I'm giving you a call. I wanted to reach out and see how you guys are doing, but I also have some great news that I'm sharing. I know everything is a little bit nuts in the world, but I wanted to share some good news that I've just started in real estate, and I'm now with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm really excited. I'm sorry. I just had to leave the room and I lost my spot. I'm doing my best to grow my business right now. As I'm just starting out, it's something that's new to me. Obviously, it's not something that I've done before, so it's new in my life, a new career move, and I'm really excited about it. But I do have some things that I would like to ask of you, if you wouldn't mind. I have an app, a free real estate app that I would like to share with you. It's easy to check to see what's going on in your area. Like if you're just curious about the market, what's happening, if you happen to know someone that is, looking to buy or sell or maybe to invest in real estate, it gives you that information. But I'd like to share it with you if that would be okay.
Wow, that sounds interesting. Is it different than what's already out there? Is it more specialized for me or something?
It's a specialized app, and I would love to be able to share all of the details of it with you. But as I said, I am new to this and I'm new to Keller Williams. So I'm using the app, sharing it with people. And what I would love for you to do, if you could, is just take a look, through it, use it, see how it works for you. And then if you wouldn't mind giving me some feedback, I would love to hear what you think of it, how easy it is to navigate, and then any insights that it gives you. If you could share with me, that would be great.
I love all that, the new stuff and playing around with all those neat things to see which ones work for me. So yeah, I'd be happy to take a look at it.
That'll be great. It does share great information about, what's happening in your local area, in your neighborhood, what's on the market, what's listed, the prices listed, and then it also gives you stuff all over the place. So if you happen to be thinking of maybe a vacation home or something up in the mountains, you could look there as well.
Awesome.
Thanks so much. And like I said, if there's anyone that you know or that you have heard of, I really would appreciate it. And it would be a great referral for me if you would give them my contact information and let them know that I'm here to help with anything, that any real estate questions or needs that they have. I'll do my best to answer them, or I'll get the answers for them that I don't know.
Well, Kelly, I know that you really you can really follow through and make this happen for people. So I'll certainly keep you in mind, and whoever I think of, I'll certainly give them your information.
Great, thanks a lot, Bill. It was great to talk to you. I hope everything goes well with the new build. And like I said, I'm here anytime. So reach out to me. I'm happy to help with anything.
Great. Yeah. Thanks for calling.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was not easy.
I thought you did well.
Kelly, I give you props for doing that. And
you were committed to the content.
Yes. Yeah, it was so real life. And 159 brave souls stayed on board while you guys did that script. We had no reduction in numbers while you were doing that script. And the entire time while your son is deconstructing the rest of your house, you stayed focused on the conversation, on Bill's needs. I would add the one thing that you
mudroom so that I could
as you're wrapping up the conversation, always go back to service for them. right?
Yeah.
You're thanking them for the opportunity. Hey, I'm gonna text that over. You're gonna see a text come from me with the download information to get the app on your phone. Please share it with anyone that you know could also use the services of me and my team. And Bill, before I let you go, is there anything I can do to help you today? Right? Just bring it back, bring that service piece back in. I was waiting for you to ask, like, does he have all the connections he needs to get through that bill? Does he have a great relationship with a lumber yard? If you heard him catch it, and it's very real right now. If you have any friends who are general contractors, lumber's going up by the minute right now.
I heard him say that. I did. And I thought, do I stay with the script? Do I stay with the script? Do I stay with the script? Or do I move off of that?
Keeping our end game in mind. Yeah, we want to finish our business, and we do want to get the help that we're looking for from the individual. At the same time, if we can leave it 51-49 and he feels more helped and heard and cared for than in service of us, they should always feel like we were in service of them. As they hang up the phone or they shut the door, we want them to feel two things: value and valued. And if we're doing that on a regular basis, you're going to win every time.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
We want it to be a win-win for all parties involved. Great job.
And one of the fears, or one of the fears that agents may have, is we are asking you to stay on script, because there are things that you may not know all of the bells and whistles of what the app can do. And when you start getting into something like that, you're trying to pull information that you may or may not have, or knowledge that you may or may not have. So Kelly and Bill did a fabulous job. If you find that you're going off script with a question and you don't know the answer, just refer back to what I said yesterday. You know what, Bill, that's a really great question. I'd like to do some research, or I'd like to speak to somebody about that before I give you the answer, just so I know I'm giving you the correct information. Because if you don't know the answer, don't fake it. So we've had some other people volunteer as well. I think, was there a Suzette? Did you say you wanted to volunteer to do a script?
Suzette and Andrew and Kaylee are who put in the chat. I don't know if anybody else wanted to.
Well, if Suzette and Andrew are still here, if they could speak up.
I will.
I'm here.
Okay. Which script do you want to do? We just did new to real estate. Do you want to do new to Keller Williams, or remind them that you're in real estate?
I'd like to do remind them I'm in real estate.
Okay. It's up on the screen. So Suzette, you are calling Andrew.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Oh, Suzette, it's so good to hear from you. How are you today?
I am well. Thank you so much for asking. Do you have a moment?
I do.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew. It's been a while since we have actually connected, and I do want to apologize for not staying in touch with you. How have you been? How's the family?
They're doing pretty well. The kids are running around upstairs right now. Hopefully you don't hear them being too loud, but they're having a good time. My wife's doing very well. How's everything going with you?
Everything's going well on my end, considering the craziness in this world, but we're doing great. We're doing great. Yes. So how is school with the kids? Are they home, hybrid, or what's going on with that?
So we've got we have the daycare place right up the street. Is more like a preschool almost, and they are actually open full-time, normal hours. They got approval from the state. It's the greatest thing. And now my wife gets to sit down and have a coffee by herself for a few hours every day. It's wonderful.
Awesome. That definitely sounds wonderful. And how about yourself? How's work going? Are you still at ABC Company?
Yep, still there, still doing very well. Really like it there, and I'm looking forward to continuing there for quite a long time.
Awesome, awesome. And are you working from home, or you go into the company?
Oh yeah, I spend more time on Zoom meetings than I know what to do with, but I'm there.
I know how that is. Yes, I know how that is. And then what are you guys doing for fun right now, considering this whole crazy pandemic? What are you guys doing?
Well, we're just spending time together as a family. We are taking it as a blessing in disguise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we have to do, right? We don't always have this opportunity, so we're definitely taking advantage of it. Yeah. And I remember you had talked about, way back when you wanted to be a instructor for a gym or something. Of course, how is that going?
Well, it's I would like to say that quarantine has given me the opportunity to perfect my Arnold physique and poses. It has not. I've gone the opposite way. So, but I'm going to get back in there. You've given me a little inspiration. I'm getting back in the gym tonight. Thank you, Suzette.
Awesome. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Well, you know what? Part of the reason why I called you as well, I've been very, very busy growing my real estate business. I don't know if you remembered, of course, that I went into real estate and working with clients like yourself. So I wanted to share that I have a personal goal to help about 16 families get into the home of their dream this year. As you already know, I'll do whatever it takes to help people. May I count on you to help me reach my goal?
Thank you for reaching out to me with this, Suzette. I mean, you're such a wonderful person. If I can help you with anything, I appreciate you reaching out and asking me for that. I'd be glad to do so.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'd like to share a very cool app that I have. It's free. I'd like to share it with you. It is so easy to check what's for sale and for what price on your street, in your neighborhood, or any place in the US or Canada. I can send you a text with a link. Does that sound good?
Please send it over. I'd be happy to look at it for you. And if there's anything else you need me to do, you just let me know.
Awesome. You're so great. Thank you so much. I'd also like to offer a real estate update on your neighborhood. You can also add additional neighborhoods you may be interested in and even customize how often you receive the update. All I need is your current address and email, and you'll start receiving it right away. Do you mind sharing this information with me?
Of course. Let me give it to you right now. There it is.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was definitely great reaching out to you. I thank you so much. I know, of course, even though you're home and, whatever, I know you guys are very busy. So I do thank you so much for taking my call. But I don't want to hang up before, of course, finding about you guys. What about you? Do you have any real estate needs? You guys looking to sell in the near future or buying any, I don't know, investment properties or whatever? What are you guys' plans for the future?
Well, while I'm not personally doing it, I just had a conversation with a neighbor who said he might be interested in selling. He's been a realtor, or not a realtor, he's been a landlord for a long time, and he's talking about maybe selling his duplex. I don't know how serious he is about it, but if you'd like, I could pass your information along to him.
I would love that. Wow, thank you so much. And of course, if he doesn't mind, of course, once you speak with him, sharing his information with me, I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, let me double check with him, and you'll hear back from me later today.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon. Take care.
Sounds great, Suzette. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. You brought the house down. That was fabulous.
Great job, Suzette.
Thank you. You as well. I thought it was nerve-wracking.
Holy cow, that was great. Wow.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking.
You couldn't tell, Suzette. You could tell that you were smiling. You could hear it in your voice. Andrew was a dream to work with. That was great.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So we have some more volunteers. I saw there was, I don't know who you had said it was, Erin. I saw
I wrote down a couple people.
Okay.
We have Nicole, Becca, Kaylee, Joyce, and I'm Ronitha. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name correctly.
All right. Let's go with, who were the first two?
Nicole and Becca are the first ones I wrote down. I've just been trying to go through the chat to find them. They might not be in the right order, but.
Okay. All right. Nicole and Becca. There's Nicole. Where's Becca?
I'm right here.
There you are. Okay. Which scripts? Who wants to do what?
Becca, what do you think?
I can do either one. Tend to be a tough person when I'm the customer. So if you want a tough customer, I'm in.
Do you want to do the new agent one?
There was the one that I wanted was, if I was going to do it, I was looking at the open house.
We have 2 Nicoles.
Oh, we have 2 Nicoles. Okay. All right. Let's.
Is Badness? Is that
Yes.
how you say it? Yeah, that's the one I
Badness,
wrote
yeah.
down.
Okay.
So, Nicole, the other Nicole, did you also want to volunteer? You can message in the chat.
Yeah. All right. So Nicole B and Becca.
Okay.
Nicole V with the as in Vadnais, or the other one?
B as in boy, Batakas.
Oh,
or,
gee. All right.
or
We'll go with Nicole B as in boy, and then we'll have Nicole V as in Victor after. We'll do
Fair
that.
enough.
Okay. So Nicole B, we're going to call you.
all right, here I am.
You wanted new script, correct?
I was thinking, yes.
New agent or new to Keller Williams?
I guess Keller Williams is fine.
Okay. All right. It's up on the screen. So are you going to be the agent calling Becca?
Actually, can we do the new agent one? Sorry.
Sure, that's fine. So you'll be the agent calling Becca. Becca, remember this is script, so we're not going to do it as we do DT, D2.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Nicole. How have you been?
Hey, Nicole. I'm well, thanks. How have you been?
I'm great. I'm just giving you a call to check in. I know we haven't connected in a while, but I was just thinking of you and how your family's doing.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long, crazy year for all of us, so it's great to hear from you. Family's doing well. We're all hanging in there. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I'm getting to do a lot more things that I've been wanting to personally pursue. I know it's given me a great opportunity to step into a couple new roles, and
That's awesome.
yeah. Have you been able to spend more time with your family or do things that you like to do?
Yeah, so I've been able to spend some time with family. I have other family that's out of state, so it really kind of sucks. Basically been Zooming them. But try to hang out with the family that's close by as much as possible.
Yeah. Are you still working with the school?
Yeah, and it's insane there, as you can imagine. Doing a lot of, again, Zoom calls and Google Meets.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing a lot is people are, they're creating their own Zoom rooms at home just because they've been spending so much time on Zoom.
I know, I need probably 16 more rooms to just make sure I have enough space.
Yeah, well, that's actually something that I'm calling about. I just wanted to share with you that I'm actually a new agent, and I was talking about things that I wanted to personally pursue before, and I'm a new agent with Keller Williams. And
oh, you're a real estate agent?
Yeah, I just became a realtor.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I was just thinking of you because I knew you would be someone who might be able to help me grow my business. And I know we go way back, and, reconnecting with you is really good just because we've been so close, and it's really a good opportunity to reach out to those people who know me and that might be interested in helping me do so.
Yeah, I'm happy you're going after something new. Have you always had an interest in real estate? What made you start that?
I've always had an interest for a while. I've been running a rock climbing program for a long time, but my previous job at the Chamber of Commerce has really been able to get me into the realm of real estate, and I've met some really great people, and I just wanted to pursue that journey of making connections and making positive changes. And I think it's a really great way to connect.
That's awesome. I'd love to support your business. I probably can't move right now, but I know my sister was talking about needing some more space.
Oh, yeah, that's great. And if you know anyone, so that's interesting that you said that, because I'd like to share my free real estate app with you. It's something Keller Williams has just developed. They made it really user friendly for people like yourself just to go on and kind of test it out and look around, and it kind of gives you some freedom to look at things that you'd be interested, or it's really easy to share. It's really easy to check what's for sale, what the price is on your street in your neighborhood, and so I could send you a link if that's something you'd be interested in, and you could also share it with your sister.
Yeah, I would definitely send it to my sister. I probably wouldn't look at it, to be honest, but I definitely would send it to her.
All right. Well, that sounds great. I'd also like to offer you an update on your neighborhood. You can also add additional neighbors and even customize it how you would like if you are interested down the road.
Yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I love seeing what the neighbors are selling their houses for, because sometimes it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see what other people have going on. So all I would need to share it with you is your current address and your email, just so I can fill in that information, and I can get it to you directly if you want.
Okay, I'll text that to you. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's great. That sounds great. Yeah, so I'm really glad to hear things are going well with you, and it was really good to connect with you, and hopefully we can reconnect soon in the future if I can help you with anything, you know, that I can be of service of for you or your sister or anybody else you know.
Yeah, definitely. Send me the link to that app so I can send it to my sister, and we'll go from there.
All right, I'll send it to you right away. Thanks again for your time. I really appreciate connecting with you.
Awesome, Nicole. Talk to you soon.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, ladies. Good job. Nicole, just a little suggestion at the end. Remember to say, do you know of anybody from your work, neighborhood, or group that you belong to who's looking into buying, selling, or investing in real estate that I could be of service to?
Okay.
We definitely wanted to remember to ask for a referral.
Right,
They may not know of someone, but good job. Very good.
Thanks.
All right,
for
so we have literally time for a 5-minute one, less than 5 minutes. So 2 more people. So it was Nicole V as in Victor. And who did you have anybody else? I see Joyce Smallwood, but
Yeah,
Joyce.
Joyce.
Okay, all right. So Nicole V and Joyce. Joyce, are you here?
I'm here.
Awesome. Okay, so who's going to be the agent? Who's going to be the call recipient?
I'll be the agent.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, so Joyce, which script do you want to do?
Remind them you're in real estate.
Okay, all right. It is up on the screen and go.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, this is Joyce. Do you have a moment?
How are you? Yeah, I do.
How are you, Nicole?
Good. What's going on?
It's been a while, and I'd like to apologize for not staying in touch. How have you been?
I'm doing well, actually. Trying to stay out of trouble, you know.
Oh, both of us are. How's your family?
Family's good. Everybody's healthy, thank God. So that's a good thing. Yeah. How about yours?
Is everyone still home? The kids, have they started school yet?
Yep. Nope. The kids are doing a hybrid thing, so they're not exactly going to school. So we're still trying to get a good schedule down, I think, to homeschool them and make sure that they're doing what they need to do, you know.
So how's that coming along? That's something new for you, isn't it?
It is something new for me. Yeah. I'm not so sure I love it, but then again, it's going to deal with what we have to deal with right now. Right. So just trying to make sure I get everything done. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm doing fine. I'm still working. Are you still working?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm
at
over
Children's
at
Hospital,
Verizon.
correct?
I'm sorry?
You're still working at Children's Hospital, correct?
Yeah, I do that as well. Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. It's
Oh,
been
that must be a lot. You're homeschool, training your kids, and you're still working at Children's Hospital, huh?
For sure. Yeah. I like to stay busy, apparently.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Are you still enjoying horseback riding? I know that's one of the things you like to do.
Only up until I got thrown from the horse, and then I said, no, I got doing it.
Oh my God, you didn't get hurt too bad, did you?
And well, that's when I decided it was enough. I'm getting too old for that.
So no more horseback riding, correct?
Not for the minute. No, I'd rather, I'll get on a jet ski instead. That's probably better.
And hey, Nicole, I know before you had told me that you wanted to pursue parachute jumping. Did you ever do that?
I didn't do that. I did the bungee jumping instead from like 100.
Oh God, how was that?
That was great. It was great, but I'm done with that too. I got it on video. I'm good. I don't need to do it again.
Oh, excellent. So you can go back and look at those days, huh?
Yeah, totally. In my youth.
Well, Nicole, it's good. I've been busy growing my real estate business and working with great clients like yourself. I want to share that I have a personal goal to help 16 families get into homes of their dreams this year. As you already know, I'll do whatever it takes to help people. May I count on you to help me to reach my goal, Nicole?
Sure. 16 families sounds like a lot. That's good.
And well, I like to share my free real estate app with you. Does that sound good?
Sure.
And it's so easy to check what's for sale and what's the prices on your street and in your neighborhood or any place in the United States and in Canada. I can send you a text with a link. Does that sound good, Nicole?
It does sound cool, actually. So I can check anywhere in the country?
Exactly. That's how awesome Keller Williams is.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, send it along.
Excellent. And I also like to offer a real estate update on your neighborhood. You can also add additional neighborhoods you might be interested in and even customize how often you receive the update.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm going to stay here forever.
So are you thinking about moving?
Well, you never know. I don't necessarily love the school district where I'm at right now, so I would entertain some other better places since the kids are getting older.
Oh, excellent, Nicole. You're talking to the right person now. So all I need is current address, Nicole, and email, and you will start receiving these texts right away. Do you mind sharing that information with me?
If I know somebody who's looking, sure.
Even your information, I will also.
Oh, my information? Sure, I'm okay with that too.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now. Here's your text.
Excellent.
Well, you should know where I live, Joyce. Didn't you sell me this house?
I did, Nicole, but at the time I didn't. I just forgot to misplace your.
All right, fair enough.
So would you mind sharing other people's name with me if you come across anyone like your friends and your family?
Sure, absolutely. You were a great help to us when we did this transaction, so I appreciate that.
Excellent, Nicole. Excellent. Well, Nicole, thank you for your time and help. And please let me know if there's anything I can help you, whatever you need in real estate, because I understand, if I'm not mistaken, you said you might be looking to move in the future, correct?
That's always a possibility. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, excellent. So Nicole, I will stay in touch with you and time after time, send you emails, text emails.
Okay, don't kill me with those. But sure.
I won't. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thanks, Joyce. You too.
Nice talking to you. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
Okay. Nicole, yeah, I had to mute myself. I was laughing too hard. You ladies did a fabulous job, really good. And Joyce, you know, to peg Nicole as being a, what did you say, parachute jumper or something like that? Beautiful, spot on. That was great. I have to say, and I think the other coaches will agree as well, that everybody really stepped up to the plate. You guys did a great job. I'm very happy with everybody, very pleased. What did you think of it in the setting like this versus the breakout rooms that we had done yesterday? Any feedback on that?
I think it's great to do it this way. The breakout rooms, I feel like it felt really, I don't know, like right in those people's face as to where we can kind of listen to each other and just kind of maybe volunteer when we're ready to do it. I thought it was really nice to see it and then watch everybody else too while other people are watching, like while you're doing it. Mm-hmm. I even we paid attention to that. So your facial expressions, Joyce is hysterical. I love her facial expressions when she talks on the phone. Like those are, she's great.
Yeah, that was good.
I kind of like the breakout rooms a little bit better because you made more of a connection with the people because you did it a few more times and you kind of, I don't know, felt a little more connected, but I liked both as well. So it was good.
Yeah, so
I think
like
breakout rooms are better because we have a chance to actually talk to another person and practice. But that was a great example to watch.
well, you know what? It worked really good in a pinch, and I have to applaud everybody. So that worked out really well. So now what we're going to do is you're going to have about 20 minutes or so to do your own phone calls. So we're going to ask you to mute and start making some lead generation phone calls today. And anybody that ends up getting a potential lead or an appointment, please post it in the chat so we can cheer you on. So go ahead and mute yourself, pick up your phones and start dialing. Okay, everybody, 5 minutes, 5 minutes.
What happened to the volume?
Heidi,
Hi,
you're
I'm
muted.
not sure if you're speaking to all of us, but if you are, you're muted
Oh,
at the
okay.
moment.
She's on the phone. But thanks for looking out. um,
Well, Heidi, it looks like we're getting a lot of leads here.
People are getting a lot of referrals and a lot of leads. It's really exciting.
Okay, so I was doing script calls. Sorry about that, folks. Molly, you were great. You were a real sport. Thank you very, very much. I had one ear on the computer and one ear on you. So thank you. And I had a script call with Bill. He did great. So if everybody can complete their calls, we're going to do some report outs. That's kind of what I call it in my coaching, just to get an idea of how things went for you. So as Paula was saying, Paula, there's a lot of referrals and leads and appointments that are being set, right?
Absolutely. And that's only in about 20 minutes of phone calls. Imagine if we did this 3 to 4 hours a day.
Exactly, exactly. And that's not to say that in the future Ignite classes, they might be doing a little bit more lead generation, because every coach is going to be different. So, so this is
And guys, I strongly encourage you that when you step away from this Ignite right now, maybe grab yourself a little lunch and a little drink and jump right back into making these calls. While you've got that energy going, keep it going.
Awesome. So David just said he had a great call with a former colleague. He's looking for vacation property, and he's got an appointment in 2 weeks. Awesome. Congratulations, David.
That's awesome.
Heidi, something that I'm learning through this is that I'm reaching out to friends that I've had in the past, and I don't realize how long it's been since I've spoken with them. And then just reconnecting, it makes me realize how much of an impact they have had on me and I've had on them. And so like when I enter into the conversation with them, they're immediately like, oh my gosh, it's wonderful to hear from you. Like, what's going on? And so it's not only necessarily in real estate, but also just in my personal life. It's really cool to be reconnecting with people that I probably wouldn't have thought of just not for any particular reason, but so I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting, Nolan, how life goes on and we get so busy in tunnel vision that we forget about the other people that we've made relationships with or connections with.
Right.
This makes us take a look at that and really dig down deep and see who haven't we spoken with in 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years,
right,
2 decades, whatever it's been. And it's perfectly fine to reach out to them and fall on, as Tim Lindsay is want to say, that Nerf sword of yours.
Right.
And take it on, hey, I'm really sorry I didn't stay in touch with you.
Exactly.
And it's a really good bridge builder. So does anybody else have anything to share? No leads yet, but a few great catch-up conversations.
That's awesome.
Yep, good.
Say, for these catch-up conversations and sort of building on the idea of what Nolan is talking about, is that you may need to get back into relationship with people, and it's a lot easier to get back into relationship with people that you were in relationship with at one time and create them as a client or a referral source than to get into relationship with brand new people. It's just easier because they've already, at some point in history, they've already known, liked, and trusted you, right? So go dig into that well of people that you've spent time with and reconnect. You may have to put some effort into building that relationship. It's not going to be like, hey, I'm a realtor. And they're going to say, great, list my house. Right. I mean, maybe that will happen, right? If it does, that's awesome. But maybe you have to have a conversation a couple times or invite them for virtual coffee and say, let's reconnect. I want to hear what you've been doing. And I want to just, get to know you again. It's been 10 years since I talked to you or whatever. And that's okay, right? So just don't discard people. Sometimes we hear people say, well, I haven't talked to this person since college, or I haven't talked to them since I worked at that company. Were they your best friend when you worked at that company? You ate lunch together every day, but you haven't talked in 10 years? Call them, So Don't be afraid of those people.
I have more than one story about agents that when we do the exercise of just going down your phone and calling everybody there, they'll skip people because they're uncomfortable with it. They haven't talked to them in a while. They don't think that they have any interest in buying or selling, right? All these things you can put in your head about not wanting to call that person. And many, many times that particular person, when they do finally get the nerve up to call them, is their next source of a lead.
Totally.
Yep.
I
Happens
can
all
I
the
ask
time.
a question? Can I ask a question real quick? I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was speaking to one of my contacts. She's on Section 8, but she's interested in buying a house. How does that work? Can she get a voucher for Section 8 to buy a house?
So this is where your like affiliate partners are going to come in. You want to find somebody that can help to counsel and support her through that process, whatever it is. We aren't the ones to give that financial, those steps, right? We're not certified to give those kind of steps to people, but we could have somebody who's our go-to resource that we can say, talk to this person, and they're going to help you on the path to home ownership. And when you're ready, we'll go find something to buy, right? So this is where it's important to start. And I think we talked about this yesterday, Joyce, when we were doing some script practice, finding these people in our community that can be resources for our people so that we're the person they come to that like, I want to buy a house, but
We're
I
the
don't know what
source
the
of the
process
source.
is going to be. Right.
Well, one of the good sources out there is USDA. They do a federal loan that is not through a mortgage company, and they do help these people get homes that normally can't buy property.
Thank you, Karen.
All
Yeah,
right, so-
Paula made a great point about skipping over people in your phone. We love to decide for the rest of the universe when they're ready to buy, sell, invest, or join our company. So we've got it. That's why Gary threw into Bold 2.0, and now it's in Bold Pivot. And in about 2 seconds, it's going to be here. It's called DTD2. It's not a robot from Star Wars. It's do the database too. Every day, every week, we are assigned over the course of 13 weeks. So every quarter is broken down. Every week, we're assigned 2 letters in the alphabet out of our phone to call and 1 letter to text. It pulls us out of call bias. Because if you're that wicked good realtor and you make phone calls like once a year and you start with A and you call Alex Abernathy every year on January 1st and then you're done making calls, you're going to just keep calling your A's. So we will post the link for DTD2 on the Facebook page. I would say that you should lean into that for sure to stay out of call bias. It's wildly important that we are not selecting for the rest of the world when it's time for them to buy, sell, invest, or join KW. That being said, let's make sure that we are also aware of the fact that as we go through all these conversations, if there's anybody on this in this classroom today who has sold a home or helped somebody buy a home, if you're a veteran agent and you've got some deals under your belt and you're smart enough to be back in this room and relearning these materials, I would argue a great day of phone calls or a great week of phone calls could be going back to patient zero. If you are in your 5th year of real estate, you've sold 110 homes, go back to that first person you ever sold a home to, right? And now your first initial thought, here comes the limiting belief. Yeah, Tim, but if I call the first person I ever sold a home to, they were a buyer. It's like calling your grandmother and asking her about her trick hip. It could lead into a really bad 38-minute conversation. That being said, they will not be upset that you called. It usually leads with a little white lie like, oh, Paula, we were just talking about you. No, they weren't. It doesn't matter. Keep talking, right? And you just want to drive through that conversation and start to talk to the people, because that's the 4th level. If I can talk to everybody in my life that knows, loves, trusts, and has transacted with me, quick question, write this down. Do you want return business or referral business? Yes, we want all the business. We want both sides of the coin. So if you're a veteran agent with any history of sales in your life, go back to patient zero and start to call those people. And the opening script for that conversation is, Aaron, it's Timmy. I'm sorry it's been so long since we've spoken. I wanted to call and thank you, right? It's a gratitude conversation. When you and Maddie bought your house in Bow, you were my first transaction. And I know you might not remember that. It was important to me because you being great clients set me on a course to help 15, 20, 35 more families that year. And you were the change agent in my life that set me on a course to have this career and have this opportunity. And I'd be remiss to not call you back, even though it's been 7 years, and thank you for that. Oh, we were so happy to work with you. Great. Who else do you know that we can help? Who else do you know that I should know? It's shy. If you told your friends what we actually get to do, which is really just call the people we know and love and trust and have conversations with them about who we can help, it's really child's play when we get good at it. And there's 115 people still in this room that were brave enough to stay through the call session, to stay through the scripts. And if you're willing to stay through these conversations, you'll be here in 2 years when your license renews. And we
You
want
guys,
you to stay here.
a final thing is scripts, right? Knowing your scripts. If you don't know your scripts and you go on an appointment, it's really no different than a plumber going to a house to fix a broken pipe and not bringing his wrench. Your scripts are your tools. They're absolutely necessary. That's why they're in your toolkit. So make sure that you really, put all you've got into learning those.
Okay, I actually have another Zoom that is holding for me over here on my right-hand side. So we're gonna
All
close
right.
this out. And everybody, your daily 10-4, please remember 10 contacts, 10 people added to your database. And
Thanks,
no
everyone.
cards, my favorite thing. And then preview 10 homes. So everybody, we will see you tomorrow. It was a wonderful, wonderful morning with everybody. Keep up the good work, do your daily 10-4, and take massive action.
Thank you, guys.
Have a
Thank
great day,
you.
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.